Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. We talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm Rose Jeffrey, and subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our video. Sorry about the wait, guys. Sorry about the long wait. Just got off Alabama, the voice of college football, less than 60 seconds ago. Immediately came over here, and it is going to be a very wild stream, I am sure. Very wild stream. I don't know how long we're going to be live tonight. I will drop the link soon. Definitely want to get to a few of these games before the madness ensues because we're going to have Michigan fans in here with Burks possibly, Ohio State fans with Caden the Diesel Freak, and whoever else calls in. We're going to have all that madness. We got Lane Kiffin. All day we waited. We waited all day for Lane, and Lane did not give us what we wanted. We want to know where he's coaching next year. Ole Miss, LSU, somewhere else. I mean, people have been making up tons of jokes online about where he's going to be going. So it has been a wild day in college football. Wild weekend in college football. I wanted to go live last night for the Friday games, but just didn't happen. I knew I was going to be up late tonight, so I was like, you know what? To hopefully have peak energy, did not go live last night. Probably could have gone live last night because there was a lot to talk about then. But there's a lot to talk about now. We're live now. Sunday morning already. It's almost 1 a.m. We got a lot to discuss. It is going to be a wild ride. And we got Jackson coming in here already with a $5 super chat. Appreciate that, Jackson. He said, here's a little thank you for staying on longer than planned. Now let's get Only Talk Sports at 3,000 subs, people. I appreciate that, Jackson. Appreciate it a lot. You're the best, man. Like, you're good. Like, the Alabama show must go on. We had to do the post game, and it was a blast with you and Travion. And definitely will be back on Monday at Alabama, the voice of college football. Definitely check out Alabama, the voice of college football if you haven't already. Definitely have a blast over there. But, yeah, we're here now. Oh, boy, we got a lot to talk about. But I appreciate that, Jackson, kicking us off. We got a lot of people already here. Like I said, Caden, Dave Valensky, Burks, via Ohio State. I haven't seen you in a while via Ohio State. We had Will and D earlier. Hopefully Will and D hasn't gone to bed yet. I'm sure he's still watching his Irish. Beat up on Stanford. We had Bean as well a long time ago at 9:27. I made the stream at like 9 o'clock. So Godfather as well. Can't forget Godfather, the SEC. Appreciate all you guys for being here. You got Will and D saying, I'm here, LOL. Appreciate that, Will. And you're Irish. You're getting a little worried. I'm telling you. Don't worry about it. I'm like, dude, you're fine. I think Notre Dame is going to get in. I will say the results today are not beneficial to Notre Dame. They're not even beneficial to Alabama, especially if we lose in the SEC title game. But I think you're fine. I think you're fine. I mean, it looks like you're blowing the doors off of Stanford. I mean, let me check the updated score real quick because I'm not currently watching the game. 35-3. So you're making a good case for yourself in that game. So that's good. So, yeah, I think you're fine. But it's going to be interesting. We got a lot to talk about. Definitely we're going to be talking about all the playoff scenarios and stuff like that as well. We got Dave Valensky coming in with a $1.99 super chat. The axe stays home. Ski you, ma. Row the boat. Screw the Badgers. Love it, Dave Valensky. Love it. Ski you, ma. I mean, the used car salesman, PJ Fleck, still getting it done. Minnesota goes 7-5. I mean, it's the most PJ Fleck season ever. There's nothing impressive, but he beats Wisconsin. Can't beat Iowa worth the daggum, but he can beat Wisconsin. And Minnesota, like I said, they're like right below Iowa. Like Iowa's just a little bit better than them in every way. But Minnesota's not awful. There's a lot of programs that would even like to be Minnesota. I remember when Indiana was going 3-9 every year. They would have loved to have been as consistent as Minnesota. So definitely solid enough season, Dave. I'm sure most Minnesota fans will take it from Fleck. But congratulations on beating your arch rivals to get that axe, Paul Bunyan's axe. The legend of Paul Bunyan. So that was good there. Appreciate it, Dave Valensky. But I do want to kick it off. I want to talk about IU just for brief because I was going to talk about last night in bigger length. But, I mean, 12-0. Indiana is 12-0. And I feel like that's just kind of lost a little bit. Like, people know it. People realize it. People are in awe by it. I know I am. I'm just blown away. Never in my life would I thought Indiana football would have had an undefeated season, ever. I mean, Indiana basketball did in 1976, but I didn't think Indiana football would ever go undefeated in the regular season. I know Stephen Cherry's losing his mind, like right now that we're talking about it. But Indiana is 12-0. Not Alabama, not Ohio State, which Ohio State is 12-0. We know they're 12-0. But Indiana is 12-0. Regardless of what happens the rest of the way, this has been a historic season. Even more historic than last year, which is freaking unreal. The fact that, like Indiana's going to fall off and go 6-6 this year. Some people are saying 5-7. And they go 12-0. I'm blown away. I predicted 9-3. I said 7-5 the year before, and they went 11-2. And I picked 9-3 this year, and they went 12-0. Yeah, and Mendoza didn't even have a great game, and he still had 3 touchdowns. Definitely him and Sayin for Heisman next week. I know Love is a great case too, and he should have a good case, but it's going to be Sayin and Love. Love, he's putting a great stat, but it's going to be Sayin and Mendoza next week in Indianapolis for the Heisman. Probably Sayin will win it if Ohio State wins, but I mean Mendoza still has a great case, but especially with a lot less talent around him. But I just want to take the time to just say Indiana is 12-0. Kurt Signetti did the unthinkable. I know the NIL has changed the game. That's why Clark Lee got an extension. That's why Vanderbilt's 10-2. These programs that are not good, right, is having success. But what Indiana's doing, they're in the stratosphere. I mean, the fact that people are saying Indiana has a shot to win a national title, I'm not saying they're going to win a national title, but they're ranked 2 in the country. They're ranked number 2. Right now, they're number 1 in FPI. It blows my mind. I love it. And I think that, to me, I'll never forget it as long as I live, even if Indiana never does this again. Because to me, it's like, I'm an Alabama fan, I always will be, and I'm sure Alabama is going to be probably great for the vast majority of my life. I mean, it might have some bad seasons in there, but like Indiana, I don't know if Indiana will be good, long term from this. But just for them, for the Indiana fans out there that have just suffered for the entirety of their existence, I'm happy for them. And I'm happy for programs like Vandy too, whether people like Vandy or not, with Avi and his mom and all that kind of crap. It's great stuff. It's great to see these programs win. And I'm just so happy for Indiana. It was just what a season. Just what an historic season. 12-0 for Indiana football. Never even had a 10-win season before last year. It is unreal. But to get off that, because I know people are probably nauseated, I'm going to get off that. It blows me away. A&M Texas. Darn. Me and you, Will. We picked A&M. I thought about picking Texas, but we picked A&M. And A&M choked because we thought Sark would choke. My goodness. Yeah, Love does have a shot. Love should win it. I'll just go on and say it. Love should win it. But it's going to be Mendoza or Sand, for sure. Sadly. But Love, I would be happy with Mendoza. Love is really good, man. But yeah, A&M. We picked A&M. A&M's in the playoffs, but they blew it for their SEC title hopes. And Texas, I think the thing that's most frustrating about this result is the fact that Texas, that these people that think that Texas should make the playoffs, it's like, okay, I understand. Yes. Technically, Sark is correct. If we didn't play Ohio State and we had have gone 10-2, we would have been in the playoffs. The thing is that he technically is right. As disgustingly despicable as that statement is, he's technically right. He is. But the other problem is that you lost to Florida, which is bad. So I don't know. To me, I get what Sark's saying, and there is a side and a point to that, but Texas should not make the playoffs. You also chalk up their other performances this year where they were completely crap. Like Mississippi State and Kentucky. And they should have lost those games too. They won. Gutsy win. I don't know, man. Texas should not get it. Kudos to Texas for knocking off A&M, technically making it an argument for them. But they should not get in the playoffs. But good win. Georgia Tech, boring game. Except for the Hail Mary at the very end. Georgia Tech, every year they compete, man. Me and Will went with Georgia. We went with Georgia because, every year they compete with Georgia, but they can't beat them, dude. They just can't freaking beat them. I don't know. It's just one of those things, man. It is just one of those things. Georgia Tech is a good program. Brent Key's done really good there. Built them up kind of like Indiana and Vanderbilt, but to a lesser extent. But they just can't get over the hump. They can't beat Georgia, man. They get close, but they can't do it. I thought maybe they had a better team this year. than last year, but they probably had a better team last year. This year's team, I mean, the record was decent, 9-3, but I mean, they lost almost to a lot of bad ACC teams like Wake Forest and Boston. I mean, Wake's decent, but I mean, the ACC's trash, dude. Like they almost lost to Boston College. I don't think Georgia Tech was that great. So yeah, it is what it is, man. Georgia won. They're in the SEC title game. We'll see what happens. So up next, Ole Miss beat Mississippi State. While all the Lane drama is going on, I'm sure we're going to be talking about Lane tonight. It's going to be interesting there. You know, Utah won. Arizona beat Arizona State. I picked Arizona, man. Arizona State with Jeff Sims is trash. Like, you had to pick Arizona in this one. Just like you had to pick Iowa. Nebraska sucks, man. Like, oh my gosh. They gave Matt Rule an extension to keep him at Nebraska, and the dude's record's 19-18. I'm not saying Matt Rule's trash. I'm just saying that Nebraska still sucks. And they gave dude a big extension for not a whole lot. Like, out of all those coaches they gave extensions to, he's the one that deserved it the least. But just to keep him for going to Penn State. Did Penn State even want him? If they really did, it's shocking, because why would you fire James Franklin to hire a guy that has an even worse record against top opponents? I don't know, man. Iowa going 8-4. Iowa's the most 8-4 program ever. Definitely. Just 8-4. So that concludes the Friday games. Saturday. Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about the game. I'm going to wait till, because the callers, I know the Michigan Ohio State guys are coming on, so I'm not even going to talk about it. Tech blew out West Virginia. Rich Rod's team is trash, waiting for next year. Tech's going to be in the playoffs no matter what. Oregon beats Washington. They're in the playoffs now. Oklahoma, not looking that good against LSU. LSU, not good. I don't know why people are saying they're a lock. I get it's because they beat Alabama at Alabama. I mean, that's fair. You know, they got to be ranked ahead of Alabama because of head-to-head. I think that's a better argument there than the Miami over Notre Dame crap. But still, Oklahoma hasn't looked all that good in a lot of games this year. I mean, the LSU game, they sucked. I mean, they just flat out sucked. They won, though. A win's a win. I don't know. I really don't think Oklahoma should be a lock if the other teams are not. If Notre Dame's not a lock, if Alabama's not the lock, then I don't think Oklahoma should be a lock. But they are, according to everybody, so whatever. Alabama struggling against Auburn. I've already said all my thoughts on this game at Alabama with the voice of college football. Alabama did not play that good in a lot of parts of this game, but they gutted out a win in Jordan Hare, which is always tough, man. Jordan Hare is haunted, they say, right? Yeah, I think it's haunted for Auburn, though, because they fumbled it a billion times. But Auburn gave it their best shot. They fell short. They missed the bowl game. Still searching for their coach. But, yeah, Alabama definitely still alive for the playoffs. But now if, you know, they lose in the SEC title game, it's not guaranteed they make the playoffs because of all the results that have happened today. So we're not guaranteed to get in. BYU beating UCF. They're still alive for the playoffs, but they're going to have to beat Texas Tech. If they beat Texas Tech, things get weird because BYU is going to get in, and probably Texas Tech will too. So that's going to really hurt teams like Notre Dame, Alabama, Miami, stuff like that. You're rooting for BYU to lose to Texas Tech. So that's interesting. Miami beat Pitt, so they're still alive, even though it makes me sick to say it. They're still alive. Then you got Vandy beating Tennessee. They're in the fringes of trying to get in as well, but they might get left out, even though they definitely have some bright spots on their resume too. USC's done. Virginia, they have to beat Duke. That's another thing. If Duke beats Virginia in the ACC title game, the ACC might get left out of the playoffs because you might have the Sun Belt winner and the American winner getting into the playoffs instead of Duke, which is insane. ACC sucks, man. SMU really screwed it tonight for the ACC there. Because at least if you had SMU or Virginia, the winner would have gotten in. Now Duke could get the championship and miss the playoffs altogether. That's wild. The ACC is horrible. A Tulane one, which helps their case. Louisville blowing out Kentucky. Clemson winning. Good stuff. I could go on longer, but I know the callers are going to be crazy. Any news on Kiffin? He says at 9 a.m. he's going to be announcing. He's supposed to be announcing today, but that was a lie. But I'm going to go in and bring the callers on. I'm going to do it. Go in and do it. I'm sure everybody's scratching at the bit. Talk about their team and Lane and all this kind of stuff. It's going to be wild. Just want to get my quick thoughts out on there on these games and the playoff scenarios. It's going to get wild, man. The playoff picture, it's tight now. You know the teams that are going to get in. Now teams on the fringe. And one of those teams on the fringe is good buddy Will and D, who's getting concerned.
Oh, gosh. They're interviewing Andrew Luck. Oh, man.
Is he going to have another iconic moment like last time? You remember when he was cheering when they were interviewing him? Will was enthralled by the game. He's hoping no pads the stats so much they have to let him in. I really don't think it matters if they win 56-10 or 56-3.
Yeah. They had a beautiful fake punt to score a touchdown. A beautiful fake punt.
Yeah, to me, though, it's like Notre Dame's either going to get in or not. They should get in. But the results today were not favorable. They were not.
Yeah.
I mean, on Minnesota, Dave and Hummus here. I'll probably try to cap it at that, though, because like more than that, you have more people. It gets kind of crazy. So definitely probably have to drop somebody if there's way more callers wanting to come on. But how are you guys doing tonight, Minnesota, Dave and Hummus?
I'm doing great. Doing really great. I'm absolutely loving it. 4-1 in the last 5 years against the Badgers, and that's amazing.
You own Wisconsin, Minnesota. Like Minnesota owns Wisconsin. Iowa owns Minnesota.
Wisconsin fans like to think they don't. We still don't own them, but they're in denial. Oh, I love how they hate losing the PJ Fleck too. They just can't stand it. Makes it even more sweet. My shot for you is complete. The Badgers sucked this year, and we got to finally finish them off. But I'll say about that game, man, that the snow was great, and that was a great environment, and it was just a great win, and we played well enough to beat the Badgers.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The reason Wisconsin hates losing to Fleck, and the reason why most people hate losing to Fleck, is because everyone thinks Fleck sucks. That's why. They think Fleck is a terrible coach.
I've heard of you.
They equate him to Tom Allen. They equate him to Tom Allen, where he's kind of this rah-rah guy, but he's just not great. Like, he kind of pumps people up, but they're just mid. I think Fleck's fine, but that's why. Like, people don't like losing to Fleck because they think he's horrible.
Well, they got to worry about themselves. The only people I feel they have every right to make fun of Fleck are Iowans right now. So, other than that, I don't think anyone else should have anything to say about, the Gophers. But, this was one of the worst probably winning teams in Minnesota. We're not that good. In our record does not show how bad we are, but there's a lot of improvement. Young team, getting that win, and and ending the season in good just good hearts. Right now we're just really feeling if we go in that bowl game. When we go into that bowl game, most likely I think it's the Great Rape Bowl. I think that'd be a great game. And I heard that the Great Rape Bowl might be us versus Iowa State, and that's a little bit of a rivalry. Not much, but a little bit. They're close.
Yeah, I would imagine Iowa State would be favored in that game, but Minnesota have a chance. I remember that one year Minnesota played like Bowling Green or something from the MAC.
Oh my gosh!
That was a really ugly game. It was in Detroit, I think.
Quick Lane Bowl,
Quick Lane Bowl is like the lowest Big Ten bowl game, right?
And that was the game that we got in because there's way too many bowl games, and there wasn't.
The 5-7 team, yeah.
Yeah, we were a 5-7 team. We got in for academics.
Yeah, it was funny because they were saying that if Carolina had a 1. They had gone 5-7. They had the highest APR, so they would have gotten in if there was a open slot. But yeah, Bill Belichick's trash, man. I mean, 4-8, terrible team. Obviously, the recruiting, they might be better in the future, whatever. I don't know, man. Like, how long is he even going to coach? I know it's off topic, but Belichick, Carolina sucks. They are horrible.
Yeah.
They make PJ Fleck look great. Okay, that's I know Carolina barely beat Minnesota a year ago, but they shouldn't have won that game. I remember that game. They should not have won that game. They were not good last year. Carolina's just been rough for years now.
No, Minnesota should have won a couple games last year that they could have had. They should have beaten Carolina, like you said. And they should have. They had that game against Penn State where it was just very close last year.
Oh yeah, I remember that game. I was rooting for Minnesota so bad. I was like, "Come on, Minnesota!" But that was close. But yeah, I mean, Flex had a couple of good years, but I mean, overall, it's just been. I mean, I understand Mark Rogers has made it apparent to me because whenever I've talked about Fleck in Minnesota, like, hey, he's like, it's a tough place to win at, Jeffrey. I get that, but Indiana also was too. Let's not forget times are different now. That's why coaches are getting fired left and right. Like, I believe, Mark's point made a lot more sense around 5 to 6 years ago. Today, not as much. Like, if you suck, there's a problem. It's either you're not getting enough financial support, which could go one or two ways. Either the school doesn't have the chops to do it, or it's because of the fact that they don't believe in the coach, so they don't want to fund them.
First one, the university has this. The University of Minnesota kind of feels that they want to be more like Virginia or Cal when it comes to like high end. It's they just feel that that we want to be academics and sports are second. I've always said I said this to Mark last time. There's schools out there that are there's schools out there that it's a football that just happens to have a university, or it's a university that just happens to have a football team. And Minnesota kind of fits in the latter.
Yeah.
No.
That's where I agree with Mark. That his statement about tough place to win at. That's why you don't fire Fleck. He's done good there. They have a ceiling. But I mean, I just feel like in this era though, man, like Indiana's a pretty good academic school too. I mean, they're not the elite, but they're pretty good too. So I kind of maybe thought that was a little bit of a barrier, but it's not a barrier anymore. The NIL's good, and Indiana's winning ball games, and they got a coach, so it can be done. It can be done. It's just whether the university is going to do it or not. Fleck has what Fleck does. He's going to give you the 6 and 6, 7 and 5s, maybe an occasional 9 and 3. Rarely, it's just the way that it is.
You more 9 and 3s and 8.
But he's not going to do better than
he has 6 and 6s. That's the other. But here's the thing that I'm going to say about that is the one thing I hate about what our administration has done is we are dead last in paying our assistant coaches. We're like dead last in the Big Ten. And that's like, if you're dead last, like if you're going to be competitive, at least go halfway. Go at least, be top, 10 in the Big Ten, or at least, the 7 to 10 and paying your offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators and your special coaches, because here's the thing. If you're dead last, like, it means like people like Rutgers is paying more, and people like Northwestern is paying more. That has to change. And PJ has brought it up a bunch of times. So I'm just saying, if PJ Everett has a good season, and they're not going to pay the offensive coordinators again, then why should he stay? And I wouldn't blame him. So the program has to figure out if they want to try to be more of a football school. At least keep up with the Iowas. That's all you need to do. We're not asking for much. If you keep up with the Iowas, you'll be fine.
That's the way I felt with Indiana, Dave. Like, I was like, Indiana, like, if they could just become like a Minnesota or Wisconsin, Iowa level, it's 8-4, 7-5 every year, just be consistently decent. Like, every Indiana fan would have been completely fine with that. Now, it's completely changed. Because, like, back-to-back years of being in top 10, ranked number 2, it's like, it's wild to say this, but, like, the standard's been raised now at IU. It's ridiculous to say that. Like, if Indiana went 6 and 6 next year, I mean, obviously, nothing. Cignetti's not getting fired or none. He's fine. But like, it would be majorly disappointing.
Oh yeah, it would be. It would be. But it'll be majorly disappointing. But here's the thing: is how long can Indiana hold it on for? I mean, that's the
I don't
thing. As
know.
long as say Netty's there, they're going to put as much money into their school as they possibly can. And then getting off a little bit off topic. What are your guys' feeling of this Bama game? Because does this help or hurt Bama? Or is this something that they just have to look out for? Because there's a situation I feel if BYU wins the championship game, I still think that Texas Tech is still in.
Yeah, I'm with you
Yeah.
on that. I said that on the Alabama show earlier. I think if BYU beats Texas Tech in a close game, Texas Tech stays in the playoffs. They're not falling all the way from 5th, which they would be ranked 4th next time, right? This week when they do the rankings because A&M lost. So they'd be ranked 4th. Unless, I mean, they're not jumping Oregon or any of those teams ahead. So they would be ranked 4th. They're not falling from 4th all the way to out with a competitive loss to BYU. Even if they got beat handily, I don't think they would fall all the way out. So, yeah, if you are on the fringe, if you are, I hate it for Will, but Notre Dame, Alabama, Miami, any of those
I just
teams.
think that it was such a blowout. Like, I think BYU will play him closer, but I still think Tech wins easily.
No, I mean, that's the thing. Like, Tech needs to win because if BYU wins and you're creating a 2-bid Big 12 and a 1-bid Big 12 allows another at-large from another conference like the SEC, the Big 10, or Miami, since, again, everybody is just wanting to save Miami for some reason. I don't know why. It amazes me how people want Miami in the playoffs so bad. And I really don't know why. Like, on all the teams on the outside, people aren't even lobbying for Vandy that hard. People aren't even lobbying for
I think maybe people think Miami has a chance this year. Like, their team is better than it is last year. Like, their defense is better.
Their team is better than it was last year, but Alabama and Notre Dame are better than Miami.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sold on Bama. I'm sorry, Jeffrey. I'm not sold on. I don't know that. Like,
yeah, I'm not
would
sold on
Miami
Bama
have won
either.
at Georgia?
no, but like Georgia's a different team than they were then. Like,
I agree with that, but the thing is that Georgia was a different team in 2023 as well, and Alabama still won in the SEC title game.
I don't think that Bama team can do. I mean, we'll see, but I just don't think. I think
agree
that
with you,
Bama,
Will. I think Georgia's got a great chance to beat us.
I think that
Bama,
that Saban's last team is significantly better than this team.
See, Ben's doing it again. The Miami head-to-head. Do you think that the head-to-head, Dave, should make Miami ranked ahead of Notre Dame?
Just the ACC sucks.
Yeah.
They lost to SMU and Louisville.
The ACC is too bad. The ACC is pathetic.
Miami should not have lost to both of those teams. One loss they could have survived. 2 is too much.
Yeah, that's just the ACC is just so disgustingly horrible. When you have Duke going to the championship game.
Yeah, I mean that's laughable.
Yeah, totally.
And Virginia's not good either. Virginia is a product of a crap schedule.
And it's not even a good like Duke team. It's barely a good. This Duke team could lose to Minnesota. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, I mean Duke got floored by Illinois.
Duke lost to UConn.
Average.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't lose to UConn, man. You can't.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I mean, to me, Miami should be disqualified off that alone. I mean, I know they're a brand. I know they beat Notre Dame. Trust me, I understand that, man. I'm not like moronic. Like, I'm not that dumb. I know they beat them, but they won in week 1. Week 1. And since then, Miami's been worse. I mean, they lauded the Florida State win when it happened, and that
Market wasn't
State. Yeah, what did that night? People said Miami is the best team in the country. That is what people say. Guess what? That aged like milk. Because Florida State isn't good. I know people be like, "Well, Alabama lost to Florida State." It was week 1. I take less stock into week 1 because it's week 1. I'm sorry. Like Ohio State beat Texas. Like, I'll defend Ohio State. Oh, they barely beat Texas. Well, it was week 1.
Well, now that win looks pretty. Texas is shown to be when they're on their.
I don't even care about that, Hummus. Like, you barely beating them in week 1. Who cares that Texas is playing better now? That means who cares? I got not to cut you off, but who cares? Ohio State is way better than Texas. They are infinitely better than a 7-point win at home. I'm sorry.
I don't know though.
All right, I'm going to be in chat, but my phone's about to die. But I'll be in chat.
All right, Will.
But if anyone has something that makes me call back in, I might call back in. But my phone.
All right, Will. I'll definitely bring you back on if you want to come back on. Congrats to Notre Dame.
Thank you.
Make the playoffs. So I'm rooting for you, man.
See you later, Will.
No, I agree with what you're saying, Jeffrey. I'm just saying I think Texas has also progressed. You know, they just took a kind of a different path. I mean, honestly, like, I think Texas still has an argument. I know that Florida loss is kind of an albatross there, but, like, I don't know. I mean, they did just beat A&M. They beat Oklahoma. Like, they have really good wins, you know. And if it's pretty simple. If they didn't play Ohio State, we'd be talking about Texas right now as one of these teams. They'd be right there on the fringe with, you know, with Miami or, you know, whoever else. Like,
I do agree with that, Hummus, on that. I do agree with that. And that's why I said I think either earlier on the show or also on Alabama. I'm starting to get confused whether I said it already here, Alabama Voice of College Football. But I said that Sark is correct. He is correct. Literally. Yeah, if you didn't play Ohio State and you went 10-2, you'd be in the playoffs. Yeah, like, duh. Like, I understand that. But at the same time, you still lost to Florida. I understand that that's a cop-out answer, because if Alabama fans be the same thing, if they had lost to Georgia and Oklahoma, then they'd be like, well, we didn't lose to Florida State. We shouldn't have played. I understand that, man, but we got to get to the point where if you lose 3 games, you're out. Just get over.
I agree.
The playoffs is 12 teams. It's big enough. You didn't make it. Do it next year, man. It's okay.
Yeah, I agree. They should be left out. They should be left out.
It's making me sick, Hummus, because these people get just obsessed with this crap. Like, you played your schedule. The game was great. Texas Ohio State was the game of the year, even though it ended up being probably the 50th best game of the year, if that. But it was game of the year, week 1, whatever. It was hyping people up. You lost it, and then you lost to crappy Florida, and then you're done. Like, 3 losses, whatever. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's okay, Texas. You're going to live. Eventually, they're going to expand it to 24 teams, and then we're going to be whining and fussing and complaining about why didn't 8-4 Iowa get in, because they played this team, and then, oh my gosh, stop. Yeah. It is annoying.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
I'm losing my crap because I've talked to these morons online, man. These people on X going at me, dude. Like, oh my gosh, Jeffrey's a Miami hater. And then this crap about Ohio State. Texas should not be in. Miami should not be in. The end. It's over.
Yeah. What I want to say about that is what pissed me off the most is the Texas coach saying if Texas wins and doesn't make the playoffs, then the SEC should just drop out of college football playoffs and have their own playoffs. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
No, the SEC's still going to probably get 5 teams. I mean, that's crazy. The SEC's still getting the benefit of the doubt. I mean, so I don't know. I agree with partially the point of view of Sark, whereas we're not going to see what's the sense in playing these big time matchup games early in the year. I agree, but
I do agree
at the same time, what you're saying is true. Don't lose to Florida, and you're not in this situation. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's that simple. So
we've moved the bar, is essentially what I'm saying. We've moved the bar. Because you had to be a 1-loss team, and if you were darn lucky to be 11-2 or some crap and squeak in. That happened, I think, with Alabama. But other than that, you lost 2 games, you were done. It was just accepted fact. Accept your sick bowl, it's fine. But now with a 12-team playoff,
make it.
Yeah. Now with the 12-team playoff, we've moved the bar. And we're complaining about 2 and 3 loss teams, and it's all it's going to do. You move it to 16, you move it to 24. You're just complaining about more and more average teams. All the teams that we're complaining about, possibly getting in, not getting in, are not going to win the national championship. Miami is not going to win the championship if they make the playoffs. Utah's not going to get in. Texas is not, Utah would not win a title if they got in. Texas would not win the title if they get in. None of these teams would. Alabama, you can make an argument that the team's still good enough to win a national title, but it's a flawed team. It's very, very flawed. Notre Dame could win, but Carr might not be good enough. The rest of the team's really good, and the receivers might, I don't know. But we're complaining about teams that are not going to win the championship anyway. So it's like you just darn lucky to get in if you get in. Like, that's what I don't understand. We got Mark Rogers in the house, too. I want to shout out Mark. Appreciate you being. I was talking what you said earlier, Mark, about PJ Fleck on one of our great conversations a long time ago, the voice of college football. That was fantastic. And I do agree with you on Fleck. I just, the times have changed on it, but Fleck still has done a good job at Minnesota, but things are different now. He's got to step it up or even he's fired. But this statement here, though, that Mark made, Jeffrey's probably weight the schedule, therefore we should go to NHL-type point system. Yes and no. I'm not completely saying that. I know with what I said, it makes it sound like I am saying that. But
time out here.
I don't see how specifically week one we can say it's the same as the rest of the schedule.
Time out. First, I'm sorry, just for 1 second. Mark actually talked about hockey. Wow. Mark yelled at me one time for talking about hockey.
Hockey's boring. No, it's not always boring. But
it's a sport you have to be at. It's a sport you have to
baseball.
be like. Yeah. You have to watch it. It's best live. It's horrible on television. And it's not great on the radio. It's just too fast.
Oh, it can be kind of exciting, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm from
like I was saying though about waiting the schedule, so. I just think that week one games should be treated differently, specifically week one games, because you in week one can be a completely different team than you are in week 10, week 12.
No, I'll tell you what they need.
Florida State beat us. They knocked off Alabama, and since that game, Florida State has sucked. So Florida State knocking us off, yay for them. That
you
not
know what
good.
They need? They need a preseason. They need to have a preseason scrimmage game, just one. You don't got to do 4 like the NFL. But now that it's basically like professional, anyways, they need to have a preseason game. Because I'll tell you what, if it's just as simple as this: if Alabama would have played Florida State week 2, and they would have beat them. I think that's probably.
Yeah, I agree. I think they'd have beat them any week of the season except week 1. And I understand that it is what it is, because I've had so many people tell me, Jeffrey, you lost Florida State. You shouldn't be talking about this. I know. But we improved since then. And again, we only have 2 losses. Texas improved from their Ohio State loss, but they have 3 losses. If Alabama had 3 losses, I wouldn't be arguing for them to be in the playoffs right now like Texas is doing. So even last year, again, could people be like, well, Jeffrey probably lobbied for – no, I did not. I literally was on here telling everybody I do not think Alabama should make the college football playoffs. We got destroyed against Oklahoma, and we lost to Vanderbilt, who was not Vanderbilt of this year. So, yeah, I was not saying that they should make the playoffs. I'm not a proponent for a 3-loss team getting into the playoffs at 9-3. Alabama will have a case at 10-3. But it better be a close loss to Georgia, but not 9-3. You should not get into the playoffs at 9-3.
When you're running down those teams, though, Jeffrey, about the teams that can't win the national title, I mean, really, when you look around, do you think anybody other than Indiana or Ohio State can win the national title?
Georgia.
When I look around, I don't really. I mean, I don't know, maybe Georgia, but I don't know. Georgia couldn't even really score on Georgia Tech. Like, do you think Georgia's going to be able to score on Indiana or Ohio State? Like, I don't know.
I have no idea. I mean, I think it's a case of when they're at their best, they can. We've seen Georgia a couple times this year look like Georgia, but then the rest of it, no. Alabama, when they're playing at their best, can compete with anybody, but they haven't played their best the vast majority of the season. Notre Dame made the title game last year. So, they could get there. A lot of it has to do with who you match up with, too. It's like March Madness. You get a favorable matchups, all the way. You can make the title game. Doesn't mean that you can win it all. but you can at least go far.
Yeah,
I think the teams with the really elite defenses, the matchup thing's less of a concern. It's like if your defense is that good, then you're probably going to give problems to almost anybody you face. So
I think that Bama's so lucky that they didn't lose this game or to South Carolina, because it will even look worse.
Yeah, and if Alabama had a loss tonight or against South Carolina, then we would be talking about Alabama being out of the playoffs, no doubt. And I would not be arguing for them to be in, like, again, Texas fans are arguing right now. I mean, the fact that they're arguing so hard, I mean, they really don't have a case. They have a case. I mean, the thing that makes it worse, it would be a little bit different if they had have just completely blown out like all their other opponents, and their 3 losses were to like the top 10 teams in the country, and they were all by like 1 score, and they were just uber competitive. And you could just be like, yeah, that team deserves it, man. They got completely wrecked by Florida. They got wrecked. And they barely beat Kentucky and Mississippi State, who last I checked aren't good. And I know that Texas is playing better now, but that kind of goes back to my Alabama argument. They're playing better now than they were against Florida State. And I know they're playing worse now than they were 3 or 4 weeks ago. They're still playing better now than they were against Florida State. The problem, they got 3 losses. There's just no argument, man. You cannot leapfrog Texas over Notre Dame or Alabama or even probably Miami. You can't, especially not Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt probably should be ranked ahead of Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, complaining about Vanderbilt. Maybe they don't want to see Pavia's mom anymore. I have no idea, but no one's really complaining about Vandy. They're down.
But
Miami, though, Miami's got to be in, but Vandy's okay to be way down there.
It's name recognition bias. That's what it is. It's name recognition biased.
Absolutely. Ohio State's better than Indiana. Better football team. But for the vast majority of the season, Indiana's had the better resume. I mean, Ohio State's lifted that with the Michigan win. But Indiana's got basically the better resume overall, kind of. But because they're Indiana, they're never going to be ranked number 1 unless they beat them next week. It was not feasible. They were never going to leapfrog them. It didn't matter. They could have beat everybody by 100 because it's Ohio State. That's okay. But yeah, there is brand bias there. I mean, Vanderbilt has been better than Miami 99% of this season, but yet they're ranked behind them.
Yeah. Yeah, Indiana.
No one's complaining about that.
It's pretty even with Indiana and Ohio State now when you compare their resumes, though.
Yeah, Indiana, it is now. That's why I said for most of the season, Indiana was ahead. Yeah. Now with the Michigan win, it's neck and neck. But before that, I mean, Ohio State's best win was Texas at home, and Indiana had the Oregon win on the road, which was better. It was a better win. So I mean, like, plus the blowout of Illinois was more impressive, and the whole resume was better than Ohio State. It was. It flat out was, because Ohio State's schedule sucked this season. It's not their fault. It is not their fault. The Big Ten teams that they had on the schedule just weren't good. And State sucked, and Illinois turned out to not be as good as people said that they were at the beginning of the season, which I predicted. And Texas for the majority of the season wasn't good. So it wasn't Ohio State's fault. It's just they didn't have a great resume. Michigan helps it. But, I mean, Ohio State was always going to remain number 1 because they're Ohio State. They've got the pedigree. They've got the history. They've got the talent. They've got the eye test. They got all that crap. That they were going to always rank number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's so boring to talk about Ohio State because every time you talk about them, they're number 1. They keep winning. That's why no one likes talking about them. At least with Indiana, it's like, well, Indiana's cool. Ohio State's Ohio State. It's the same thing when Bama winning all those games. That's why I never talked about Bama much with Mark at the Voice of College Football, and I talked about Indiana all the time. Because if I talked about Alabama all the time, he would have got sick of me. No one wants to hear about a team that wins all the time. People like talking about Bama more because they lose sometimes now.
I was trying to ask Will, but he left. I wanted to ask him. He in the chat, he was saying that he thought Sand looked mid today. I don't know.
Early on, he did.
He threw the one bad pick at the beginning of the game, but I don't know. I mean, he looked pretty fine to me. I mean,
the issue with saying in Ohio State to me, Hummus, is the fact that Ohio State has such great talent around him that it just feels like dude's operating in like a Mac Jones 2020-ish environment. And that's why Mac Jones got slander and flack too, and that's why he didn't win the Heisman. That's why, like, literally, this is a prime year for, hey, maybe Jeremiah or Jeremiah Love, like either Jeremiah Smith or Love, the Jeremiahs. Just pick one of them, right? I mean, I love Mendoza. He's great. He's awesome, and I would love for dude to win a Heisman. But Jeremiah Love and Jeremiah Smith are better.
I don't disagree with that. I think that I would actually.
Julian saying is just he's robotic-y. He sits there in a perfect world and environment around him and just kind of just exists. And he throws these balls that are just so accurate. It's like a lot of them aren't actually that accurate. His receivers are just so flipping good. They catch everything. Like they have to get down to catch his balls. They have to speed up to catch his balls. I'm serious, man. He's not this otherworldly dude. There's a reason why most Alabama and Ohio State quarterbacks in the NFL are flops, because of the fact that they exist in this environment that's just so it's like mold growing. It's a good environment for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be in a good environment. Stetson Bennett had this perfect situation in Georgia. What's the dude doing in the league? Nothing. Just like we all knew. Julian Saint's fine. He's good, man. But if he was on a team with chaos, if he was on a team where he's getting sacked all the time, if he was on a team where he didn't have Tate Smith, I really, really doubt that bro would be throwing 80% of his passes completed and he'd be this dude that he's great and stuff.
I don't know, Jeffrey. I'm going to have to push back here. I mean, first of all.
I know you're going to push back in Stephen Cherry. That's my opinion.
He's a redshirt freshman, first of all. The kid's like 19 years old? He's a 19-year-old kid. You can't compare it to Mac Jones, who was, I think, a fifth-year senior when he was doing that. I mean, and also, like, I don't care what receivers you have. If you're breaking that record, and also you got to look at his targeting efficiency down the field. Not only is he going to set the record for the greatest completion percentage of all time, perhaps, but also, like, it's not dink and dunk. It's like down the field. Like, his deep ball accuracy is really, really good. Like, did you see that ball he threw to Carnell Tate today? Yeah, Tate was open, but guess what? He hit him absolutely in stride. He didn't have to slow down. He didn't have to try to leap for it. Like, perfect ball placement. And I mean, like, look at Joe Burrow. He had what they call the greatest season of all time. He was a fifth-year senior also, first of all. But who was he throwing to? He was throwing to Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. You know what I mean? Like, anytime, who did Bo Nix have when he was playing? He had NFL receivers. Like, it's it is what it is there. But like Julian saying, he's not just like some product of the system either. Like, he's a really talented quarterback. He was the number 1 or number 2 recruit in his class for a reason. Like, he's extremely talented. So I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I mean, it could be anti-bias on mine. I don't know. I mean, it probably is. But I mean, that argument of being the number 1 quarterback out of the class almost to me hurts his case, though, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we're talking about Heisman. We're talking about the Heisman. Mendoza's exceeded odds. He was a 2-star player, right? He was like the 190th ranked quarterback out of high school. Literally had no offers. Cal gave him a late offer and all that. He was supposed to go to like Yale. So he's got brains. That's why he's an amazing speaker. People say he's robotic-y for that, which is hilarious. I don't care. Point is, dude's a better speaker than 99.9% of the planet, because that's a lost art these days.
Oh, he's awesome.
People talking trash on X does not mean that you know how to talk. It's actually hard to stand up in front of people and sound the way that dude does. It's insane.
He's really good.
I mean, the guy has exceeded odds. Saying is fantastic, but he was expected to be fantastic. That's why Underwood is so hilarious, because Underwood's been trash, flat out.
But the Heisman's not about the best story, though. It's about the best player. Like, it's not the Rudy Award.
I don't think he's the best player, though. That's why I'm saying if you're not going to go off story, because Mendoza's best story and best all that by far, it's Love versus Jeremiah Smith.
I would agree. That's what I was saying.
They are better players. Julian saying is not better than Jeremiah Smith or Jeremiah Love.
No, I don't think he is this year either.
That anybody on this planet can tell me that to say, yeah.
I think he can get there, but unfortunately it's become a quarterback award. I wasn't even arguing that Sand should win the Heisman. If Will was just saying he thinks Jeremiah Love should win the Heisman, I wouldn't disagree with him. But what I was taking notice of is him saying that Sand was mid today. Like, I don't think Sam was.
It wasn't mid.
I think Sam played well. He played well. He threw for 3 touchdowns, had some really good passes. He had basically one bad mistake in the game. You know, it was an interception, and people were pointing at Mendoza's Heisman moment supposedly against Penn State, and that came off the back of an interception. Like, you can't have it. You can't live in this world where, like, you know, just because you do something at the end of a game, it creates like a better moment. Like, the reality is, like, Sam faced adversity, bounced back from it, had a good game. Like, it is what it is. He wasn't mid. He played fine.
I think the problem with Mendoza's situation is that most of the interceptions that he has had this year have been the byproduct of either him almost getting sacked or in the process of getting sacked or his receiver breaking the route. 2 of those interceptions he had was because E.J. Williams, our third best receiver, probably fourth because Becker's better, broke his route. It's not even Mendoza. Yeah. I'm just saying. Fernando Mendoza should only have like 2 picks all season, not 5. Yeah. Because of the fact the 3 that he did have were because of 2 was his receiver broke his route, and 1 he got hit as he threw the ball, and it made the ball flutter. Saban's not getting that type of pressure. Indiana's O-line's a lot better, but Ohio State's O-line is way better. Again, it's unfair to Saban. It is unfair.
I'm not comparing anybody.
So freaking perfect. That's why I defended Kyle McCord. I like Kyle McCord because y'all didn't. That's why I like Kyle McCord. Because y'all his existed, not you specifically, but like the fans hated him because he wasn't good enough. Even though he actually was not bad. He was pretty freaking all right. But it's because the expectation of Ohio State. So, I mean, for like Mendoza, Indiana fans are just enthralled with how amazing he is because he's broken all the stats at IU, whereas Saban's just another dude. That's why it feels like he's a product of this system. That's why it feels that way, even if it's not. Even if you are completely right and I'm wrong, Hummus, that he's just so much better than that and that he exceeds that because of his own individual ability. It just looking at the game, it just feels like Ohio State's so good that he can't fail almost because he's better than McCord, right? Like, it's just hard. I don't know, man.
No, he's a product. He's a product of the system, but the system's a product of great players.
I just feel that Love is a better player.
He's a product of the system, but the system's built on and predicated by having great players. Like, I mean, look at who you're comparing him to. You're comparing him to Haskins and Fields and Stroud. You know what I mean? You could say, oh, Haskins busted. Well, Haskins didn't really bust in the NFL, you know.
Wayne Haskins out of all those players was the worst.
He was, yeah, well, but he was also, you know, you don't know. There's different career arcs in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like, look at some guys. They end up, look at Sam Darnold. Like, you don't know. Haskins could have ended up being really good in the NFL. It's hard to say. Or Baker Mayfield. Like, he started good, was mid. It's hard to say. Haskins was going to continue to get a few more chances in the NFL. He was, 22 when he died? I mean, let's be real here. Like, he was.
Yeah, I'm not talking about when he died. It sucks. I still hate that happened so much. I'm just talking about his college career. Fields and Stroud were better than Dwayne Haskins. Haskins never made throws that I was like, yeah. I mean, Fields was just Fields. Fields was Fields. He was Caleb Williams, kind of just crazy. Sending plays, running the ball. Good throws all over the play, but Stroud was the quarterback. Stroud was true. Stroud is really good, but
Stroud's legit.
But he's kind of fallen off a bit, but he's still really good. Stroud was good, and I praise Stroud. I like Stroud. Saying it's frustrating because it's just so uber like just vanilla, man. It's like he's good, man, but it's just like watching. It's just like slow mo. I don't know, man. Like Stroud to me, like had to be better. I don't know. Saying he's just the team's great this year, man. This Ohio State team is just so freaking good. And it's like people talking about like weaknesses. Where? Like the run game. Okay, they're getting better there. The freaking team is just good. They got barely any holes. Indiana's probably not going to win. And that is not to say like Caden's like, oh well, Indiana's no good because they can't beat Ohio State. It's like, come on, dude. Like,
I think Indiana has a good. Indiana has a good chance. I mean, look at once again, usually Vegas is pretty smart and the line's only at 5. It's like, you know, then that's right now. The line could also go down. So
can Can I just say something before we? I have to get going, but I have a question.
I got a long list of people in the chat. I would have already brought them on. I don't want everybody talking over each other, but definitely got to get to some new callers soon. But I appreciate you guys.
I just want one question just for you. Where does Lane Kiffin go to? Does he?
I want him to stay at Ole Miss. I've been on the Lane to staying at Ole Miss train the entire time. But I mean, all this crap that is going on right now with extending this out. Like, I agree with the people that are saying if he was going to stay at Ole Miss, he would have already just stayed at Ole Miss. That's what Cignetti did. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to Penn State. I'm signing the extension. We're focused on this year and beyond. I'm not leaving Indiana. Like, screw all you people that think I'm going to leave Indiana. I'm not leaving Indiana. And these other coaches, Drinkwitz got an extension. Lee got an extension. All these guys getting it. Matt Rule got an extension for literally no reason, but whatever. But you look at Lane, and he just keeping this thing going. And then like what's frustrating about it to me is the fact that he's kind of like spinning it around. He's like, well, it's a horrible predicament to be in. It's like, well, you put yourself in the predicament. I understand that you probably want to coach Ole Miss the rest of the way. That's not how this thing works. LSU wants you now, and Ole Miss wants to know whether you're leaving them or not. So that's why you've boxed yourself in this corner. I think more and more people, like, it's hilarious how the tides turn, because I've been saying for weeks, stay at Ole Miss. You have a national championship basically caliber program like right now, whether people think it or not. It's pretty darn freaking good down in Oxford. Stay. They're not going to throw you off the tarmac. All right, like you win a title 2 years later, they'll throw you off the freaking tarmac. They don't care. They got rid of Edo in a heartbeat, man. They thought Brian Kelly was trash, so they got really ridiculous standards. Everybody was telling me Jeffrey needs to leave. He needs to go to LSU. Well, now people are on all over the national media. I was watching before the Indiana-Purdue game the other night, and all those people were like, yeah, I think he should stay at Ole Miss. And I'm like, what? Where's this? No one was saying that before. So tides are turning. People are starting to realize, yeah, he probably should stay at Ole Miss. But if he leaves LSU, I think he's going to get fired within 5 years.
Yeah. LSU.
He's probably going to go to LSU to answer your question, but I sure as heck wouldn't do it.
I don't understand it going. Why leave LSU? Why would you leave something you're already doing well, and you might even win the fucking SEC championship, and you're leaving for LSU, who's basically a school that just can't get their shit together.
Money. Literally, Ole Miss has a contract that's basically just as good. It's the same with DeBoer. He got a big contract at Washington. He turned it down to go to Bama. And I understand because Bama and the prestige and all that. Washington is a good program. And I was a little DeBoer, but Alabama's better than LSU.
Alabama is one of those jobs where it's like, I mean, LSU is a good job because the recruiting ability where they have a fence around the state, or you could try to do it. But like Alabama is one of those jobs where it's like, the prestigious, like the pedigree of Alabama just kind of speaks to people. You know what I mean? But,
all right, and hey guys, I'm gonna get going. So I'm out of here. Have a nice day, guys.
Appreciate it, Minnesota Dave. Congrats.
Hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving and a good rivalry week.
Yeah, see you.
Absolutely.
Dave.
Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you had a great one too, Minnesota Dave, and a happy rivalry week as well. And I'll definitely hope to talk to you soon as well. If you want to stay on Hummus, you can. I'll go in and bring on Michael and Burks. I think we can handle that. And Jackson too, because Jackson's Jackson. So. And Austin, just fine. We'll just bring everybody on. Whatever. Just do it. Fine.
Oh, we got Burks on here.
Hey Jeffrey, how you doing?
What's up, Burks?
What's up, Hummus? How are you, man?
Hey Hummus, how you doing? Hey Jeffrey, how you doing, sir?
Good.
I'm doing good, Michael. I'm doing good, everybody.
Good. I got a bone to pick with you, sir.
All right.
As much as you've been hyping Indiana the last few years, why are you?
Yeah, today was pretty bad, man. I'm just gonna say it, man. Underwood. all you Buckeye fans who said like Underwood was gonna be underwhelming, you guys were right, man. You guys were right. And I'm done with this bullshit of, oh, yeah, I remember we got Shea Patterson. He was gonna be the savior. This is exactly what we did with Underwood, man. And look what happened, bro. We literally did. These stats are just ridiculous, man. He is a #1 prospect in the nation, and this is what you're doing. This is how you're performing. Yeah, no, this. Dude, we need to do a full. Sharon Moore needs to get a new quarterback coach, new. And listen, he deserves another year. He's improving by year, right? But at the end of the day, man, listen, if Underwood does not step up next year, I have a feeling he's going to transfer, and he should transfer because, I don't want Michigan to, ruin the guy, and he has too much talent. And if he wants to leave, he should leave. And you know something? I just want to say something as well. Michigan is not a school, not a fucking school for developing QBs. I've realized that. We have such a bad track history. Like JJ McCarthy, I'll let you know right now, we didn't develop him well. He was already talented. And if we developed him like better, he would have been, I feel, better in the NFL. And I feel it's exactly what's going to happen with Underwood. If he stays 3 years, I think that he's going to get the Anthony Richardson treatment or JJ McCarthy treatment, be a first rounder, and then not be good in the NFL. So we have a lot of shit to improve. But at the end of the day, man, listen, Ohio State, you guys won. You guys manhandled us every side, every position. We cannot complain or saying like, oh, they screwed us or no. You guys just absolutely raped us, man. You did. And
That's
kudos to
one
you
way of
guys.
putting it.
And that's all I got to say on that part,
That's one way of putting it. But anyway,
Yeah.
Bert's now that Michigan.
If Say was in Alabama, German State's friend, I'm not even. Okay.
Yeah.
He's
So
not.
Bert's looking at Michigan and where they're at for bowl season. If you had to pick the SEC opponent that you're likely going to play, would you rather it be Texas or Tennessee?
I would just do Texas just because, like, hey, man, I want to see how we play against this team. And if we get humiliated, and that means that Sharon Moore is going to make changes, dude. See, if we, win, I have a feeling, if you win against Tennessee, let's say, right? Like, we play Tennessee and we kill them, right? I have a feeling Sharon Moore is going to keep some of these guys, right? Like Grant Newsome, our O-line coach, strength and conditioning, which he needs to go, special teams, He did not, and Ron Bellamy, our receiving coach, man. Like, these guys need to all get the hell out of here in Ann Arbor. I'm sorry. And I have a feeling that if we win the Citrus Bowl, dude, he's going to keep them all. So, I say play Texas. If we get killed by them, then it's going to give pressure on Sharon Moore because I'm letting you know right now, the clock is ticking with him.
Well, my thing on Underwood, I do want to make a point on Underwood, though, because
Sure.
the thing is, I said from the beginning, not whether he was going to be a bust or talented or not, that Michigan in and of itself, paying that much money to get him was dumb.
It was stupid. Absolutely.
Because even if he ended up being good, you do not pay a freshman that. It's the same thing with Nico. You don't do that, man. I don't care how much money that billionaire has that helps Michigan out or whatever. You do not pay a dude that much money who hasn't proven jack. You just don't.
Yeah, it was a bit much, but hey, Bert,
it was excessive. It was ridiculous.
I know things are always a little emotional after a loss like that, but the one thing I would say about Underwood is, Ohio State basically made every quarterback look the same way this year. The quarterback that probably did the best was Altmaier. Like, he looked okay at moments, but I mean, they did the exact same thing to Arch Manning. They did the same thing to Damon Williams at Washington. Like, they've been doing that to every quarterback all year. I mean, don't get me wrong, that was maybe a little bit worse, but, I don't know. Michigan also doesn't have, very good skill talent this year. It is what it is. Like, Colston Loveland's gone. You got the one freshman receiver who didn't show up today.
Donovan McCulley got benched at Indiana, but he was Michigan wide receiver one.
You have one receiver who didn't play well today, at all. I don't even know if he caught a pass, but I'm not, as Jackson would say, I wouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater when it comes to Underwood. I think he still has pretty good potential. But you're right. If they don't develop him, if they don't get some better infrastructure in place to get him developed, then it could be bad for him, and it could be bad for his overall development. If they don't, he should maybe think about transferring.
No, I agree. Especially if Lane Kiffin is going to LSU and he sees him do good in year one, and he does crap Underwood. I will not get mad at him if he transfers because he wants to save his football career and be a high draft prospect. Good by him. This is like, at the end of the day, it's just Sharon Moore's fault then, and he needs to be more accountable. And I just also want to say, Jeffrey, when he Underwood went on Crane and Company and started like kind of making like he was committed to LSU, but he was kind of talking a little shit about Michigan. That right there was like a red flag right there.
It was a red flag, and it makes me sick
Portnoy,
because. Go ahead, Jackson.
And Portnoy and Larry Ellerson were playing a part in Underwood flipping from LSU to Michigan.
Yeah.
I want to see if Portnoy pretends it never happens if Underwood is having a bad year in 2026.
It makes me sick with that because I was telling Michigan fans and everybody that gave a crap about the situation, the dude wants to go to LSU, but Michigan's going to pay him all this money, so he's going there. That's just pathetic. And then people are like, well, that don't matter. Yes, it does. Because sometimes your desire of wanting to play somewhere, it's going to make you better. There's a reason why some of these dudes that they grew up loving a school, dream school, all that kind of stuff, and they go there, and then they just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Like you said, it was just – and just all the stuff that he said, too. Like, you remember, like, I'm not going to be you're never going to see a freshman like me. Like, that statement will never live him down. Because of the fact, like, dude, you've never seen a freshman like this. He throws 7 touchdowns through 11 games or whatever. I mean, it's like, oh, my gosh, that's trash. I mean, like you said, he could still be elite. He could still be good. But he had a horrible year. And at the end of the day, and I also said this, I don't know. I think Mikey Key might have been hurt. I have no idea. But all I know is I was like, Michigan does not need to start Bryce Underwood. I said that as well before the season. I'm like, he needs to sit his first year, kind of like you, Hummus, Julian saying, he got that red shirt year. It makes a difference. It does make a difference.
It does. Whose volume is that?
The cold lager.
I have no idea. It is not me. I got nothing going on.
Yeah, same. And dude, I just want to say also, there's always some weird ass story with Michigan every year about like a team captain. Like this year, man, I don't know if you guys heard, even you, Hummus, I don't know if you heard, but Ernest Hausman, man, he was our captain linebacker. He was not playing for last week and this week. He ran away from the team because he joined some Christian cult apparently, and he wrote a message. It's really weird, man. And we don't know where he is. We don't know where he is, man. And he's not in the team. And he's a starting linebacker. And it's like he just kind of ran away from the team, kind of like Cade McNamara when he lost the job with J.J. McCarthy in 2022. You're the damn team captain, and then you just run away, dude. This happens all the time. At least with Ohio State football, you guys don't do that. At least your players will play even if they're injured. They won't sit out like Will Johnson last year, man. Like apparently he could have played. Even though he was out, apparently, with his knee, he was ready to play. Obviously, didn't want to play because of his draft stock. Like, I'll say this, okay? Ohio State players care more about their team than Michigan players do, of what I've seen. And also your coaches, too, man. You guys put yourself, right? You guys put, like Urban Meyer, right? He put Ryan Day in a good position to succeed, all right? Same with Jim Tressel with Urban Meyer, right? But Jim Harbaugh did not put Sharon Moore in a good position to succeed. So that's why I'm actually, I'm going to be a little easy on Sharon Moore, right? Who was it? Lloyd Carr did not put a good position for Rich Rodriguez to succeed, right? So I'll say this too, Ohio State coaches, man, you guys, like the coaches actually care. If they're leaving, right, they will actually want their program to succeed by helping the next coach, succeed. So I'm going to give you guys that.
I mean, the biggest failure in Jim Harbaugh not creating an environment for Sharon to succeed was he didn't keep Stallion for him.
No, dude. Nah. No, Ben Herbert, man, our strength and conditioning coach, dude. Like the amount of injuries we got and all this crap took him to the Chargers, man. So we need to fire our damn strength and conditioning coach because he has caused too many injuries, and the players are not that physical, like that. And yeah, I don't know, but we'll see next year.
We haven't heard anything from Austin.
Yeah,
Austin, how you doing tonight, good buddy?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. Enjoying that Governor's Cup, and we run the state around here. All is restored. Jeffrey, you know what that's like to run the state in football and basketball. It's good that we can do that again. And I will say this, to Burke's point, I mean, it's been happening for years, Burke. I know it may seem like just a Michigan problem, but it's been happening for years. I think that's why Saban left while he still could, because he was just like, listen, I can only do this for so long. Like Caleb Downs, he's a great player, but Saban couldn't keep him. And that's saying something when he's at Alabama. Even Saban couldn't convince him not to leave Bama. That was kind of the state we were in. It's just one of them things. It's just the world we're in now, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, nobody's a guarantee that you're gonna stay at a school. I mean, everybody's saying Ron Williams is gonna leave. That's actually like, oh, Ron Williams is gonna leave. I mean, somebody this just was never the case at programs like Alabama in the past, but now it is. So. It is what it is. I want to point out JT's super chat here. Did Jeffrey say something? Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh,
I have said a lot in an hour, and we're gonna keep on rolling here at Only Talk Sports. It sounds
three more till
say that. Like Mark's like, keep it going at Voice of College Football. Jackson does that. Keep it going at Alabama Voice of College Football. We're keeping it moving here though. As we get to almost the 2 a.m. mark. I do want to point out JT's comment, though. Georgia's going to spank Bama and Atlanta. How can we for sure say that?
Here's the thing. I want to point this out, and this is something important. The last time Georgia and Bama met, Bama swept the series, but do y'all remember the previous time y'all met twice in a season? Bama won the SEC that year by beating Georgia, but then what happens in the rematch in Indianapolis for the national championship? Kirby Smart got you back. So Kirby Smart knows how to win that second game against you all. And he's done this against a lot of teams. Ole Miss, not Ole Miss, but like a couple of these SEC teams that he's lost in the regular season to, and then he meets again in the championship game. He just finds a way to win that second game. I'm not going to go on record right now and say Georgia's going to win, but I would not be shocked if Georgia finds a way to win this time around. If Kirby Smart did not learn something about you guys.
Well, I don't think it's gonna happen this time around. I think Alabama's gonna be fine because I mean Alabama's basically kryptonite for Georgia. I think we can get things going again. I mean, yeah, we're out Cuevas. Like, I'm not sure where. It's not looking like Cuevas is playing next week.
I don't think either is gonna play. Josh Cuevas has a better shot than Miller, but I don't think either are gonna play.
Yeah, but we'll be rolling for sure. I think we're gonna be all right. It feels like it's gonna be a tight one, but
if Alabama loses by 3 points to Georgia in the SEC title game, do they make the college football playoff? Everybody.
Yes, definitely, absolutely.
They're in unless they get completely embarrassed.
See, here's the thing. I'm on the fence about that right now because. Who can we definitively say? We've got Indiana, Ohio State. They're the locks. Is Oregon a lock? Can we say they're a lock?
Yes. Oregon's a lock. A&M's a lock. Georgia's a lock. Texas Tech is a lock. And Oklahoma, people keep saying is a lock, even though they shouldn't be.
So there's 7. So that leaves the ACC winner, the group of 5, and then a Notre Dame, Miami.
ACC could get left out, though.
That's true. That's true as well. Here's the thing. If Virginia wins, then Virginia gets that spot, and we don't have to. Yes. If Duke wins, it could get a little sketchy. And here's the thing, too.
You could have Madison and like a North Texas, South Florida, whatever happens in the American. I'm not keeping up that strong with that stuff, but either of those type of situations, both those would get it over Duke.
And I want to say this, too. I know we've all talked about this, but I've been the biggest person that has said this. What have I told everyone on this panel, especially Jeffrey and Jackson? I said we're going to have a 7-5, 8-4 team make the conference championship and make the playoffs one year. And remember what you told me, Jeffrey? You said there's no
you
way
were
that's
you're not completely crazy with that. I mean, because the ACC and the Big 12 exist, it was not infeasible. It's just changed the rule where, you know, with the system and everything. Like, you have like the highest ranked ones. So you're gonna have a lot of years higher group of 5 teams than that power conference team. I mean, it would be really interesting. I don't think really there's any scenario where Duke gets in.
You don't think so? Because here's the thing. Do you think
they're like
they
7 and
would
5? They'd be 8 and 5. They'd be unranked. Right now, there's like 3 group of 5 teams that are ranked, or 2.
The reason why I bring that up because how bad of a look if you leave the ACC out? Then it would kind of.
Well, then they would try to force Miami in.
That's true too, and then that could screw Notre Dame out of a spot.
Which if they force Miami in and leave Notre Dame out, that would be one of the biggest crocs of crap on the planet. I'm sorry, it is stupid. Like Miami dug their own grave. They dug their own grave.
Well, and here's the thing too: is
they were favored to beat both the teams they lost to big time. The Notre Dame games were toss-ups, and they lost both of them. Toss-up fashion. Miami got blitzed by SMU.
And here's the thing too, Jeffrey, and I don't want to say it, and Jackson's gonna get mad, but I'm gonna have to. If Texas does not get in, what we're gonna hear is, why should we play Ohio State? Why should we play Bama? Why
should that's gonna be the argument, but then they'll just be like, let's expand the playoffs.
And I was even Jackson was telling me this. He was like, they're going to blame it on Texas playing Ohio State. And I'm like, yep. And you even heard the commentators say Friday, how can you leave Texas out? They beat 3 top 10 teams. You can't leave this team out. This is not like Bama last year. They have proven their worth. They beat Texas A&M.
You lost to a piece of shit Florida team. That's why you're left out. You know, it's not because of you losing to Ohio State, Georgia. Because you lost to a pile of horse dung Florida team. It's not like you've lost to Tim Tebow, Urban Meyer, Steve Spurrier, Danny Werfel all in one.
Yeah, Sean Garner says the winner of the ACC goes, the loser doesn't. Simple. Again, Duke winning, they probably do not get in. I don't agree with that.
I mean, here's the thing. And you see people tonight on the timeline saying the ACC should step in and overrule Duke and put Miami in instead.
Nicole Aribach from NBC Sports was saying that.
Well, see, that's crap. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that year. Does anybody remember it? It's going to make Hummus mad, I know, and Stephen Cherry and everybody else from me saying it because my memory can go further than 2 seconds, which is 90% of the internet. But 5 years ago, this scenario happened in 2020. Where you had to play 6 games to make the championship game. Indiana played 7 games, and Ohio State played 5 because of the pandemic stuff. Well, guess what? They got rid of the rule because of the fact the rule would have been if it was the other way around. If Indiana had been 5-0 and Ohio State had been the 6-1 or whatever, then that would have been the case. Like, that was crap because they created that rule to keep out a team like Indiana, and they did it anyway. The reverse way of the rule they created in the first place, which is
I don't think you can.
At the end of the day, Ohio State deserved to be there, yes, but that rule was created to keep out a team like Indiana, and they did it anyway using the rule they made. So that made them look like crap.
I don't know, but Jeffrey, the thing with that is that was kind of created on the fly to begin with. I mean,
it was Hummus, but still, that's hypocritical.
They didn't foresee a situation happening. It was a stupid idea.
The point is, Hummus, it's completely missing the point, though. The point is that if you're gonna put Miami in over Duke, changing the rules of college football to make Miami get in, so that Miami can win, and then Miami gets in the playoffs, that's trash.
I know, but what I'm saying with the Ohio State situation, it's not apples and apples. That was a completely.
It's still similar, though. It shows you how messed up stuff. It's like Florida State. Florida State went undefeated. They won all their games, and people left them out because, okay, Travis got hurt. People make these arbitrary rules for these specific examples, and they're all wrong. That's
it wasn't. But Jeffrey, that my point is that was a makeshift. It was a makeshift season to begin with. But
I think you're
it's not like
taking
that-
too much of the
it's
point
not
about
like
that
was
specific
an
example.
it's
I'm
not
making
like
a
that was
point
an
about several different
established rule.
examples.
It's not like that was an established rule. And the biggest thing was, didn't Ohio State beat Indiana? Was that the year that they?
Yes, they did.
Ohio State beat
42-35.
So
They
it was-
barely
it was-
beat
it
Penix.
was-
I
it
know.
would've been
It's not the
absolutely-
point, Hummus.
It
It's
is
not
the
the point.
It is the point.
No, it's
Having
not.
Indiana-
The point
having
is that you make a rule for a specific example.
But Jeffrey, it was a
It doesn't
makeshift
apply
rule.
every time.
It was a makeshift rule for a makeshift season. They made a mistake. This isn't an established rule.
They did make
It's
a
not.
mistake, but it would also be a mistake to put Miami in over Duke.
That's fine, but I'm just saying it's not a fair comparison.
It might not be a fair comparison, but it's
I
a
agree with
comparison.
you, but that's not a fair comparison.
I don't even care
It
if
is
it
a
is a fair
comparison, but
comparison.
it's
I
not
knew it
apples
was
to
going to
apples.
frustrate you. I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm just saying that all of these examples are wrong. Every example,
When here's
all wrong. But these people did it. They did it. They did it to Florida State. They did it to IU, Ohio State, 2020. Indiana beat Penn State. Even sure that year, it doesn't matter. But in this situation as well, if they put Miami in over Duke, that is crap. It's crap. I agree with you. Ohio State should have made the Big Ten title game that year. They should have, but it was a stupid rule. It should never even have made the flipping rule.
Here's the thing. We can rag on Duke all we want for going 7-5 and potentially 8-5, and that's who represents our conference. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, is Duke won the conference games. They did the work to get there.
Yeah,
they
Miami
earned
didn't
that
do
spot.
it, so you can't put them in. That's all I'm trying to say. If they did that, why is that okay in that specific example? Okay.
I mean, like Duke basically is just a candy ass team this year. I mean, they're such a.
It's not my fault. It's not anybody's fault that the ACC sucks and that their brand teams suck. That's not my problem. It's not. All Miami had to do was lose to Notre Dame and win the ACC games. That's all they had to do. Or beat Notre Dame and win the ACC games. Or beat Notre Dame and lose only one of those games. That's all they had to do. They didn't do it. That's on them. I'm sorry.
And Duke did.
But like, if they do that, I'm just saying, I knew the example was just going to infuriate the planet, and that's fine. That's okay. I just used the example because I don't like these rules that only exist for a certain example. If it exists for a certain example, it should exist all across the board. I think that was the point that I was hoping everyone would get across. That's what I was trying to say. A specific example should not determine, well, hey, this is the rule only for this. It should be the way it is across the board. If we're only going to use head-to-head, then it should work every single time. But you can't do that because there are specific examples where head-to-head don't freaking matter. That's why Florida State is not right ahead of Alabama right now. That's not how it works.
I completely agree with you, Jeffrey. I just think the COVID season's a bad example.
I know. It's an example. I know.
And
again, I'm with you. Ohio State deserved to make the title game. They beat us. They always beat us. Ohio State will always beat us. That's okay. They beat Alabama sometimes, which not all the time, but it's okay. It's just an example. Like, that example pissed me off, and the Florida example pissed me off. Even though I agreed that Florida State, if they had made the championship game or the playoffs, would have gotten murdered. They would have, but it still was wrong. It was.
So Jeffrey, real fast, I want to hit on this because you'll find this funny.
I want
Jeffrey,
Duke to make the title game, Austin, and I want Duke to win, and then the ACC gets left out for sucking. That's perfect. That's okay. We can exist in a world.
That's not what I was going for, Jeffrey. That was not what I was going for.
I know.
No, I was going back to this because a couple weeks ago you told me I have predictions that sometimes that I go for those way out there predictions. At the beginning of the year, Jeffrey, I had Duke in the ACC title game against SMU. And that was one of my way out there predictions. And it's coming true. So, and I even told Jackson, I was like, Manny Diaz is going to be in the ACC title game this year.
Yeah, I
And
totally
Jackson's
did not even remember that. That's crazy that you predicted that. I did not remember that. I would have assumed everybody would have had Miami and probably Clemson.
I had like Clemson.
But
I had Clemson and somebody else in there, but
I don't even.
And
I didn't even make picks for that, so I don't know.
I wasn't saying that to brag, just so you know. I was just saying though. You always say I make those way out there predictions.
Oh, it's impressive. I mean, you get a lot of crazy predictions right.
Yeah.
I sometimes do, but I'm wrong a lot. That's why I try not to be too crazy with predictions all the time, because if you do, then you're going to get them wrong. But, hey, I mean, the ACC is wide open, man. I mean, it's a good pick.
But, yeah, it's Duke. I just don't see them winning the ACC. I mean, because they're too much of a candy ass.
You do realize, though, Jackson, that Virginia beat Carolina because Carolina did not get a 2-point conversion.
Yeah. I mean, that whole
stinks. Virginia is not a good football team.
No.
So it could happen. I mean, I'm not saying I'm picking Duke, but it could happen. Virginia is fraudulent.
Yeah, because it's like Duke.
They are a fraudulent team.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they couldn't beat Tulane, Illinois. They couldn't beat Georgia Tech, UConn, or Virginia. And as you stated, Jeffrey, North Carolina was a 2-point conversion, like half a yard away from upsetting Virginia.
I knew Georgia Tech was fraudulent when they barely beat Wake Forest.
Yeah.
And then they followed that up with a lot of other crappy performances, and then they barely beat Boston College. And I'm just
this literally must feel like how the Big Ten was in 2012. Nothing against the Big Ten.
Except that the ACC is probably going to follow it up with more crappy seasons, and the Big Ten didn't.
Yep.
That's the only difference.
And here's the thing, to kind of steal a phrase from both of you, legitimately, Jeffrey, outside of the SEC and Big Ten, has anyone really looked that good in the ACC or Big 12? Everyone is beatable in both conferences. Like, you can maybe make an argument Texas Tech's the best team maybe that has a chance, like, possible.
Man,
take the games off the screen for a minute. So this is a little more. I can see everybody now.
Breaking news.
I was like Hollywood Squares. There we go.
News.
Oh, nice.
Tech has a really good
as an
defensive
Tiger.
line, so I'd say Texas Tech, Austin, definitely. The D line for Tech is like legitimate, so they can cause problems for a lot of teams with their D line.
Yeah, that NIL really worked out for Tech. I mean, they're the only Big 12 team that's worth anything. Hey, Lucas, does it make you happy that Lane is an LSU Tiger in your announcement?
Well, I mean, this has been going on for some time. I'm not really surprised that he's an LSU Tiger. It would have been a lot better if he'd have stayed in Oxford, in my opinion, because he has all the resources in his backyard and he had the fan support in Oxford. What donors are coming in and coming up with almost $100 million in NIL money and all this different contract money that they're able to give him to build a roster like this and all these different promises that they're putting together. But it's just ridiculous. So if you're paying a guy $90 million, this offense better be putting up 500 yards a game, and you better be able to retain a guy like Blake Baker. So there's a lot of question marks still with that, but I doubt he's going to be coaching in the college football playoff. He's going to address this tomorrow. This whole thing has been a damn soap opera, Jeff, and it's ridiculous seeing all this. There has to be a calendar. And Dusty Dvorak, if you were watching the Egg Bowl yesterday, Dusty Dvorak made a great point on this, that there has to be timelines that contract negotiations like this have to take place, because it was a distraction last week when he goes to Gainesville and when he goes to Baton Rouge to go deal with contract negotiations like this and talk about different deals that they're going to set up. And this has just been a damn facade, man. But that's all I really wanted to come on here for, just give y'all the breaking news, which I'm pretty sure y'all are aware of. This literally just got broke about 15 minutes ago. But y'all have a great night. We will see y'all very soon. We're gonna break this all down next week on Southern Sports Scene. So really looking forward to seeing y'all there. Y'all have a
There you go. Check out the
So-
magic
Absolutely.
that Lucas is creating on Southern Sports Scene. Let's help him get to 500 subs. He is right now at 69 subs. He's only 431 subs away from that magic number 500. And you can give him a follow on Lucas Hill SEC on @/Twitter, Inside Gamecocks on @, and on Lucas Hill, Lucas __ 17 on Instagram.
So
I need to
wanna put
talk
this
something
out-
about LSU for a quick sec. Okay, they're the biggest clown school. Let me tell you why. All right, so their governor, right? Their governor, LSU's governor, right? Apparently, did you hear about the tax money dollars they're trying to pay for Brian Kelly's buyout? So apparently, this crap happened. They're using tax. So apparently, taxpayers are buying Brian Kelly's buyout, and now Lane Kiffin, right? They're now like, what? How the hell does Lane Kiffin? They afford Lane Kiffin now? Like, that's what I'm wondering, man.
Because we taste it.
That is a goated comment, man. I mean,
Oh man, that is so funny.
if I'm ever on life support, I want Lane Kiffin in charge of pulling the plug because he takes 6 weeks to make a decision.
Well, gentlemen, I'm on head off for the night, but
No,
wow.
So
all good, Jackson. If you gotta go, you gotta go. You leave it too, Austin?
no, I got two more things I want to say, and I want y'all's opinion. So, with Lane going to LSU, does that mean Ole Miss is going to get left out of the field now, and we're going to
No.
have a Florida State
No.
all over again?
If they did, no.
I'm not trying to get anybody
They
started,
better
but
not.
that's a legit
I
possibility.
swear, dude, they better not. They better not.
Does anybody even
Because
know
here's the
it's
thing.
official yet?
We do not officially know for sure, Michael. It's not official. It's not official. It's
It'll
just
be official next Sunday at 11
9 a.m. 9 a.m.
Well, I
Eastern
heard it
time.
was 10 o'clock 10 this morning, but anyway, I was just wondering stuff like that. But I just want to talk about IU and Ohio State.
All right. Well, gentlemen, I'm gonna head off, but check out the magic that Jeffrey brings on Only Talk Sports, where he talks sports every single day, or at least he tries to. All right
No.
here on Only Talk Sports, and the magic that he brings on Alabama, the voice of college football, Monday nights, Thursday nights.
Hey, Jackson, did your
And,
blood pressure got back to normal yet?
Hey,
Huh?
Austin, I have a question for you, Austin. Why does Trailer Trash, or Caden, a.k.a. Caden, why does he have a grudge with you? I don't understand. You're like one of the nicest guys ever.
Yeah. Oh no! It wasn't something you said. It's
That's
just,
a joke. That's a joke.
I've got apparently one more piece of business I have to attend to. I just wanted to come on here for a little bit.
You can come back on, Jackson, if you want, if I'm still alive.
Well, you gotta get your sleep, good buddies.
I
don't wanna
do. I mean,
sleep too
eventually
much.
I'll be like, I gotta go to bed. But it's like, Mr. Krabs, I want to go to bed. But I'm fine. Right now, we're okay.
There you go. But
Sorry I got heated earlier, man. I'm just intense right now with all this
no,
crap.
you're good. You
Conversation.
good, man.
Hey,
But,
take care.
I'll be seeing y'all
talking to you.
gents soon.
Yeah, you have a great night, Jackson.
Take care.
What's going on? Well, what were you, Michael, about IU and Ohio State?
Why is everybody thinking IU should just fold the tent? This is Fort Thomas.
Oh, IU should what?
Fold the tent, not even show up because everybody thinks you're going
I can't even hear him.
He's saying that IU. Why is everyone saying IU should basically just not show up to?
Oh, I
Ohio
can't
State.
I can't speak for other people. I said IU I think has a chance in the game, and I think Vegas thinks they do too. The spread's around 5. Like Indiana, in my opinion, Indiana's the second best team in the country. You know,
But my thing
I
is like
think-
that. Everybody's thinking like that. Oh, stuff like that. I mean, they just got.
Bro, I
they
can't
didn't play
hear.
issues, you know, Ohio State does. But we'll see and stuff like that. But Jeffrey,
That's
as
weird,
much as you
dude.
pride IU, why are you wearing a Bama hat for?
Because I just got off the Alabama at the Voice of College Football show. I literally ended that show with Jackson, and then I came over here less than 60 seconds later. I didn't even take the hat off. It's just rolling with it.
Yep, not bad. But no, I was gonna say though, no, in
So
the ACC they shouldn't even get a team in. But
I
you
agree.
know what would be nice though is if two group of 4 teams make the playoff. And right now, who do you think is going to be North Texas, Tulane, or James Madison?
Probably James Madison and the winner of Tulane, North Texas.
Mm-hmm. But no, so is Big 12 pretty much locked to get in, you think?
Oh, yeah, because if BYU beats Texas Tech, then both BYU and Texas Tech get in. If Texas Tech beats BYU, only Texas Tech gets in. All these scenarios are pretty cut and dry. I love the drama that people are making up with the playoffs. There's really not a lot of drama here.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty set in stone. Like, we know what's going to happen if Team A beats Team B, Team C loses to, all that stuff. We know. It's pretty set in stone.
So,
the only debate everybody just keeps drumming up is Miami Notre Dame because it's cool.
See,
and Texas is
3 spots ahead of Miami right now. The committee is not going to flip their spots. They're not.
The committee already said it too. They already said it like a couple weeks back. They don't view Miami and Notre Dame as comparable teams, so the head-to-head's not going to come into play.
Yeah. Like, it'd be different if Notre Dame was 9th and Miami was 10th. But Miami's 3 spots behind. It's incomparable.
But see, the thing is, though, didn't they have Miami in? If the playoffs would have been last week, when they've been in, didn't they have Miami in?
No, they didn't. They just
This is so weird.
They just show the highest ranked ACC team, but they're basically like a placeholder. So the ACC is most likely getting left out if Duke wins.
Mm-hmm. I think they should be left out too, but I was going to say though. But no, I think, let's see.
Oh, we got Godfather. Yes. What's up?
I think it should be Georgia, Texas A&M, Bama if they win, Vanderbilt, and I'm thinking who should be the 5th team from the SEC.
Ole Miss.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, excuse me. Could they get 6 in?
Vandy's on the outside looking in, which honestly is kind of shocking to me. It is brand, but why is Vandy behind Miami?
That is true. Nobody knows.
Vandy shouldn't be behind Miami. Vandy has a better case than Miami.
I agree, but no one's talking about it.
See, here's the thing I'm trying to figure out with the ACC. Say like Duke wins, beats Virginia, and they win the ACC. And there have been rumblings saying, forget that, they would still take Miami over Duke.
They can't.
Why couldn't they? If they're still the highest ranked team in the ACC, don't they get the automatic bid?
No.
Well, it has to be champion.
It's highest ranked champion. It doesn't.
See, again, these are the rules. This is why I had the conversation with Hummus earlier. I wasn't trying to go completely rails with that, but it's an arbitrary rule. If you put Miami in over Duke, Virginia, just because they're ranked higher, you are breaking the rules that they've already predeterminedly set.
Yeah.
And that is the problem that I have with rules that are created on the notion, the fly, whatever. And I understand it's pandemic season completed. Again, it's an example. It's because they've done it before. It would not shock me because they want Miami in. When the media pushes something, it's like I knew Florida State was out of the playoffs when Jesse Palmer said, Florida State, if they don't beat Louisville by a lot, they're not getting in. And I was like, yep, they're done. It was history. And I'm like, that's great. Thank you so much for you got the word, Palmer. You got the word. So it's like
when Travis got hurt,
everyone's telling you they should be in, and everyone's telling you that they deserve to be in because they're better than Notre Dame and the resume's better and the head-to-head and all that. So they want them in. They want them in. They shouldn't be in, but they want them.
So they're really rooting for Virginia to win next week. That's what I'm thinking.
It's a possibility. But here's the thing, though. If Duke wins, though, then that could catapult someone else in.
And that's going to be the group of 5.
Because if they want, because here's the thing, like not to be conspiracy theory, if anything, if they want to make the field easier for, say, if they say, we want to rig it for an Ohio State or a Bama national title, let's root for Duke and let's rig Duke to win, so to speak, and then that way the field can be a little easier. if they really wanted to do that.
Well,
or
I mean,
maybe we
again,
want
the problem with having a bigger playoff is that you're getting examples where different teams are going to have easier paths. I mean, it's the same thing with March Madness. You could be like a 3 seed and just have the easiest path in the freaking world, but you could have like a 4 seed or a 2 seed, and it's infinitely worse because the bracket that you're on,
or the 1 seed.
It's the same thing. So it's like we're getting to the point with the expanded playoff like this, especially if they go to 16-24, there are going to be teams that have infinitely better paths than the rest that aren't fair. But you can't do anything about that. That's just the way a bracket is.
Mm-hmm.
Like
my issue is not about like the matchups. It's about, I don't like the word rigging, but you know, putting teams in that shouldn't be in based off rules that are predeterminedly set. Miami should not be in the playoffs. If they get in the playoffs because they changed the rules or some screwy way that they get, it's messed up, man. They're on the outside right now. There's nothing they can do to. They're 12th, which last I checked, if you have the 5 champions from the Big 10, the SEC, the Big 12, and then either ACC/Group of 5 or the 2 Group of 5s, that leaves you 7 at-larges. And there are more than those. There are more than those ahead of Miami. There's not space. There is not enough space for them. There's not. You have Oregon. You have Indiana. Just saying Indiana loses to Ohio State. You've got Indiana. You've got Oregon. You've got Texas A&M. You've got Oklahoma. You've got Notre Dame. You've got Ole Miss. Already at 7. And then you've got Bama. And then you have Vandy that probably should be ahead of them. That's all I'm trying to say. They're mathematically toast, man. They should be done. But it's just this thing, man. It's like Miami, they should be stop. If Alabama loses to Georgia by 3 or 4 scores, we'll talk, baby. If BYU gets smoked to Texas Tech, they're out. We'll talk. Miami will have a slim chance. Maybe compare them and Vandy, but as of right now, they're out.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying now, what happens if Bama gets smoked next week?
That's what I'm saying. If Bama gets smoked next week and BYU loses, then the door is cracked for them because you're taking teams out of the equation. Then they'd be on the fringe of either being the last team in or the first team out, and you're comparing them versus Vandy, probably. Or still Notre Dame, which, again, if they jump Notre Dame, that's just a pile of horse crap.
See, here's the thing, too.
You're basically saying head-to-head really doesn't matter.
I'm saying that head-to-head does not matter when we have enough data to show that the team is worse than the other team. Yes. That's what I'm saying. There's enough evidence to suggest, with statistical data and with results, that Miami is a worse football team than Notre Dame. It's not even debatable at this point. It's not even close.
It's like Alabama,
Texas suggest that.
Jeffrey, it's Alabama, Texas all over again.
Yeah, well, that was crap too because Alabama should have been ahead of Texas. They literally,
and you even said it.
They won the rest of the game. Texas lost to Oklahoma that year. That was in 23. So no, the head-to-head should matter if teams are this comparable. When you've got enough, Notre Dame is way ahead of Miami and FBI. For statistics, Miami don't have a Heisman candidate. There are a lot of reasons to suggest Notre Dame is better. A lot.
Yeah. And
I don't know why it's a debate.
That's just like I think if they play a game, Notre Dame wins easily.
I mean, it's not guaranteed they would win easily because anything can happen. It's football. But I think Notre Dame's better than Miami. I think it's pretty obvious.
Okay. True. Fair point. All right. Now, who's your top 4 next week when they see your top 4?
I mean, you got Ohio State, you got Indiana, and then you've got Georgia and Texas Tech.
Yeah, Texas Tech is ahead of Oregon still.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
A&M probably falls to 6 or 7. Probably 6. Yeah.
So who's going to be 5 then? Bama or Oregon?
Say it again.
Who will be number 5 then? Oregon?
Yeah. It will be 5th. I mean, A&M could be 6, but Ole Miss might be 6. It might be Ole Miss than A&M. Maybe. And there's a clear top 6 to 7. Top 7 is, again, you got Ohio State, Indiana,
They're
Georgia,
locked.
Texas Tech, Oregon, probably Ole Miss, A&M. They could have A&M ahead of Ole Miss. It depends. And then that's your top 7. And then Oklahoma, they got them stonewalled at 8. They're 8. Oklahoma's just definitively the 8th best team, which I also disagree with. I don't think they're that good. But again, they beat Alabama, whatever. Still don't think they're that good. But they're 8th. And then it's Notre Dame, and then it's Alabama. The top 10 is set. Then you got the screwball Miami, BYU, Utah. No one's talking about Utah. I guess they're just history as well. And then Vandy, and then they try to throw in Texas. I mean, it makes me laugh because they don't even put BYU on the screen when they're talking about these at-large teams but they have Texas on there. Are we really doing it?
Doesn't make sense.
Texas should not even be on the screen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, here's the thing too. Here's the thing too. I saw this, and I want your opinion on this. Is basically, since Indiana and Ohio State play one another next week, it's 1 versus 2. And a lot of people are suggesting, why should we care about it? It basically means nothing. Both teams are in the playoffs. What are we even playing this game for? And for me, that gets me mad because I'm just like, does the conference championship game not mean anything anymore? Like, do y'all not realize?
Like I told everybody that when they expanded the playoffs, it was going to reduce the value and the meaning of conference championship games and valuable regular season games because the individual games do not matter to the same degree that they did before.
But here's the thing, though.
Because they really don't matter. Ohio State and Indiana really shouldn't play. They really shouldn't.
Here's my thing. And you've known me long enough. I look at it from this way, though. You win a conference championship, even if you don't win the whole thing, you could still look back and say, for that one day, we won the Big Ten. We're the best team in the Big Ten. We beat you. We won our conference. We have the trophy. Like, does that not mean anything anymore?
It does matter and it does mean, but it's lost meaning. It's lost value because look at Oregon.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, it's all about the playoff. It's all about the championship now. I mean, literally, we're in August and we're talking about the playoffs. Remember, Penn State and Clemson and Texas, which Texas kind of rebounded, but whatever. Still too late. But yeah, I mean, we talk about it, and we talk about the teams that might be there, and then everything changes because there's always a couple teams that you think are going to be good that suck. So, I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, the playoffs, I knew were going to be problematic for college football.
Mm-hmm.
They are. I mean, they have some positives, money, a lot of money, and more games we can watch, but it is kind of negative because, the Big Ten championship game kind of don't matter. I mean, you saw anyway that the loser of the Big Ten championship game, it was kind of beneficial.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was back in 1992, if you go back and look at it, when Roy Kramer started the first SEC championship game. You got to look at Alabama. Alabama was undefeated. Florida was 9-3. Okay, Roy Kramer rolled the dice. If Alabama would have lost, you'd have had a 9-3 Florida playing a whatever. I think Miami was 11-1. They might have been 11-0, like a 10-0 like Alabama. So I mean, a lot of people forget that Florida had 3 losses, but it didn't happen that way. But there's always been chaos ever since it started, kind of, if you go back and look at it a little bit. So why not go to 16 teams? You go to 16 teams, you're going to have a 9-3 team in the playoff. You might sneak a 8-4 team in there. I'll say that gingerly, but they might.
My to that, Godfather, is because I agree with you there. My problem is it's never going to end. Because we debate teams that like last year, Indiana, West Virginia could have gotten the tournament, especially West Virginia. They had a great case. Should have made the tournament right over some teams that didn't get in. But it's like at the end of the day, those none of those teams are good, man. None of those teams are like they're not going to win the national championship. It's just about people debating like, hey, they should get in. Now they're like, well, let's expand March Madness to 76. My point is that I agree with you. Like, hey, in a 16-team playoff, Texas is in. Everybody's happy. But there's always going to be that next team or two that whines and complains that they didn't get in. It's not going to fix the problem. You're just complaining now about worse teams. Like, I think it's funny that even now we're arguing about teams like Miami and Vandy and Texas that, to me, in my opinion, and again, it's my opinion, I could be completely wrong, and you guys could disagree with me, and that's okay. That's why we all have an opinion. I don't think those teams are national championship contenders. None of them. But we're arguing about them, about getting in. And see, the playoff used to be 4 teams, where every team that made it outside of maybe the TCU, Cincinnati stuff had a shot to win. Now it's like, yeah, we're arguing about teams that they're just lucky to be in the conversation for the thing because we've expanded to 12. You expand to 16, you're going to be arguing about 9-3 Georgia Techs and 9-3 Iowas and 9-3, Nebraska if they can ever do that again. Stuff like that. And it's like, are those teams going to win a time? No. But we're still going to be complaining and fighting and ranting and just all that about teams that don't even deserve to be argued about.
Mm-hmm. And see, here's the thing too, Jeffrey. You put Miami in there. Here's the thing. I legitimately think Miami, if they play their best and they show up for every single game, I think they could win the whole thing.
Texas
I really
has
do.
a better roster, though. That's the problem. Texas actually has a better roster. But Miami,
because Miami
currently, even though I think Beck kind of blows, but he's still better than Arch. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, they got talent, but
like I understand where you're coming from. Like in that, realistically, most years Miami would not be in the conversation to win the whole thing. But once again, it's one of them too. Realistically, who can win the title? Like it's probably most years it's maybe 3 teams, maybe. Like this year, logistically, like it's Ohio State, Indiana. I would have said A&M until they lost to Texas. I mean, do you think Bama can win the whole thing, Jeffrey? Non-biased.
I think they can. It's a long shot, though. I mean, it's a long.
Then,
I think
then after that,
Miami. I don't think that's debatable.
And then Georgia.
And if Miami fan was here, well, we beat Florida State, and dude, I don't freaking care.
Here we go again playing Georgia. It ain't that I don't want.
It doesn't matter. Georgia it can win a national title. Decided to learn how to play football again. They're playing great. Like first half of the season, they look bad, but they're playing really good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're one of them.
I mean, and it just goes to your point, though, as you always say, and I think even Jackson's brought it up, and I think even you, Godfather, brought it up, is it's logistically 4 or 5 teams. Like, there's always those sleepers. Like, could Ole Miss surprise a lot of people? Sure. Could Texas Tech go on a run? Maybe. I mean, like Hummus said, they've got a lot of talent themselves. Could Miami? I mean, Notre Dame. Did anyone think Notre Dame could win the whole thing last year?
Ohio State beat a 6-6 Nebraska team last year, 21-17 at home. And they won the national championship.
Everybody's entitled to a bad game, though. That's the thing.
Yes. Ohio State's better than Indiana. But let's not act like Ohio State has never had a bad game against a bad team and still won a title. I'm not saying Indiana's going to win a title, but that point right there, when I literally could just draw back from last year, Ohio State beat Nebraska 21-17 at home and won a national title. So last season counts. Yes, it does because it's an example.
They're going to be
saying that Indiana barely beat a 6-6 team, so they're not good. That's not a good argument.
No, everybody has a bad game. I mean, because listen here, if Bama goes on to win the whole thing, and Godfather, you've probably seen a lot of bad Bama games.
Georgia beat Florida 24-20.
Exactly.
Ohio State
or 4-8.
Ohio State kind of looked. They kind of scared me today. I don't know if there's anybody can beat them or not.
They're probably going to win it all again.
I really don't.
I mean,
I think Indiana's got a good chance at it.
They have a good chance, but I mean, the rosters are so lopsided in talent; it's unreal.
I mean,
Indiana's got four. They got 7 4-stars, and Ohio State is 65.
Yeah, but still, the one thing I'm trying to figure out, just because you got all those 4-stars and stuff like that, aren't the numbers practically similar?
They got the best team money can buy.
I mean, if you look, yeah, they got the better talent, but if you look at the numbers and statistics, they're neck and neck. Are they not?
No.
I mean, they are
really.
neck and neck, yes. I mean, Indiana has been better than Ohio State in some categories, but Ohio State has the infinitely better roster. Like, it's so obviously obvious that it's not even worth saying.
You're right.
The fact that I have to defend that Mendoza's been more impressive than Sayin because he has way, way, way less talent is insane to me. Like, it's so freaking obvious that Sayin is in a system and at a program. And it's just so great that's why he is so successful. It's not to say that he couldn't be successful with Indiana's team or Alabama's team or any of those teams. I'm just saying that he's so freaking good because his team is so freaking good. You even saw without Tate and Smith, still have the running back, still have the O-line, still have the other receivers. Without those two guys, Sayin's stats dipped.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works.
Plus, another thing, too.
Indiana didn't have Surratt either against Penn State.
Yeah, but look how many times
Ohio State and Indiana, when you don't have your best receivers, your quarterback performs a little bit worse. So I'm defending Sayin as I'm defending Mendoza. I am.
But I gotta ask you this, though, Jeffrey. How many times did Mendoza not play a complete game this year? Look how many times he was taken out. When he could, I don't think he had a 300-yard game. And Sean was saying they had to hang on to beat. Yeah, but did they literally have a dogfight with Texas? And Texas is not a good team, really a good team either this year. So how can you say they can do that with a 6-6 team when Ohio State really had to fight literally to the last play of the game to hang on to beat Texas?
Every game's a fight.
That's not true, though. That's actually not true, though, Michael. That game didn't go down to the last play of the game.
Well, when it down to like the last couple minutes or something like that, where Texas is driving.
No, not really. The game just didn't have very much scoring, but think back to the game, it wasn't really like tight at the end. I don't know.
All that matters now is they're undefeated. Indiana and Ohio State is undefeated. You can talk about who beat who or who could have beat who or who's whatever. That's over. That's over. You got to look forward. Look forward, straight ahead. Can't go behind no more. Nope. The committee can. That's their job.
Well, there's people right now that say Georgia should be ranked ahead of Indiana, which is like
crazy. They're crazy.
I mean, both teams are undefeated. You should not rank them ahead. If Indiana gets the doors blown off against Ohio State, which is possible, I don't think it will happen. I think it will be competitive. But if they do, then Georgia will pass them. And if they beat Bama, congrats. I don't know, dude. The thing that irritates with IU is that IU is an outlier. All these other teams, when we talk about all these other teams, all of them, Oregon, Phil Knight, Ohio State, 5 stars all over the place. Bama, 5 stars all over the place. Georgia, 5 stars all over the place. A&M. I can get on your nerves really quick when I start saying the same thing over and over again because it's the same thing over and over again. Oklahoma got great players. Texas Ole Miss even has great players, which is why Lane would be a moron to leave for LSU when he's already got a great program. Indiana has the least talent of all the teams in the top 10.
Probably, yeah.
By far.
Oh, yeah.
See, it's unfreaking real. And it's like, come on, dude.
Indiana, here's the thing I'm trying to figure
Iowa and Penn State because they don't have infinitely better rosters than Iowa. And Penn State has a better roster than Indiana does.
And Iowa's not a bad team.
Fired. Indiana doesn't first-round draft picks anywhere. Their second highest-rated draft pick behind, if Mendoza goes in the first round, is Surratt, and he's probably going to get drafted in the 3rd round. Ohio State's like 8 first-round draft picks, man. It's not even close.
See, that's what I'm saying.
It's a whole other world. They shouldn't even be here. They shouldn't even be number 2. I'm happy they are. I'm so proud of the team. But if Ohio State wins 35-14, it wouldn't shock me.
Okay, now let me ask you this.
Same league. It's just Cignetti is an insanely great coach, and they're a well-coached team, and they play hard. But all the other teams that are in the top 10 have better rosters by far than Indiana.
And I agree with you. And with people going to say, like Steven, if Ohio State gets their brains beat in next week.
No, it's not going to get any sympathy, Steven. It's because it's just the truth. It's just nauseating when people talk about it. Like, you just discount them. It's like, it should be more impressive what they've done with what they have.
They've done with
what happens in the playoffs or against Ohio State. Just the fact that they're here is cool. That is my point. Miami is 10-2, and they suck, and they got way better talent than Indiana, and they don't deserve to be in. That's all I'm trying to say. That's the point I'm trying to make. Indiana has done a great job this season with way less talent.
Exactly.
All the fans getting mad at Indiana, they're just happy to be there. They know they'll probably lose, even if they say stupid crap online. Ohio State's probably going to win big, at least by a couple scores. I hope it's close. It could be close. But the rosters are not even close, man.
Hey, Jeffrey, let me ask you this. What happens if IU blows Ohio State out the door? Then what are they going to say about IU?
They're good. That's what they're going to say.
No, they're going to just say that they had probably going to say Ohio State had a bad game or something.
Whatever. Still a win.
Yeah, they will. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
It's just people are discounting IU because they don't have the 4 and 5 stars.
Well,
I think they do. They just don't have them listed by their names.
And IU's been doing that for so long, too. Is another issue.
And see, I want to bring this up. And Jeffrey, in some ways, we were in the same situation together. I understand where you're coming from. Because you remember in 2023, Jeffrey, when we won 10 games and went to the ACC title game. You remember that? And what did you say about our team? When everyone was thinking we were a top 10 playoff team. Do you remember that? Do you see how our situations are similar? A little bit?
What was Miami's worst loss? What do y'all think Miami's worst loss was? Louisville.
Probably.
I mean, you're not completely there. I mean, I think Indiana has gone beyond what Louisville ever was close to achieving that year. But your point stands, yes, that no one, including myself, well, I can't say no one because there were some people really trying to hype up Louisville. I don't think Indiana's gotten undeserved hype. I don't think there's ever been a point where people are like beyond like Indiana's better than what they deserve to be getting credit for. Like Louisville that season, for some reason, people were just like, I don't know. It was like they were like, man, I think Louisville can hang with. I don't know. I mean, I get your point though, man. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, the only way Indiana's ever going to get respect at all is if Cignetti coaches there for 10 plus years and they start getting great and they're consistently in the top 5 to 10 and they beat good teams all the time. Unless that happens. If they fall off next year, then they'll just say, oh, it was a 2-year blip. Instead of a 1-year blip, it was a 2-year blip. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Well, and see, and that's the thing, too. And that was your Jordan Travis got hurt, right? And I sat here and argued with you. I said, me and you argued over this. You were like, well, you should beat Florida State without Jordan Travis. And I told you injuries are part of the game. Why does that make our victory less meaningful? Why does it make us raising the conference title less meaningful? It happens. I mean, like you said, I mean, injuries are part of it. So it doesn't make it less meaningful. Like, for example, the most famous one, Jeffrey, and you can relate to this. Jamison Williams getting hurt in the national title game, but Georgia still celebrates it like they beat you all fully healthy. To them, they beat Alabama. And I looked at it that way. And God forbid,
I mean, it's the same thing with Ohio State. Marvin Harrison got knocked out of the game, and it was targeting. They didn't call it, and Georgia won that. I mean, that game was more sad. And again, and I'm the biggest like anti-Ohio State person on the planet, according to half of Twitter. But the thing is that I defended Ohio State in that game. Ohio State should have won that game.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it for 50 years from now, if YouTube still exists and we're all still here, hopefully. Even you, Godfather. Yeah, hope you're here, man. You know, seriously, I try not to be super biased. I really try not to. It is hard because like it's so fun to go back and forth with everybody. Because like when I first like talked sports a couple years ago on here, I was just statistical the whole time. I was more like Jackson on here. For real. I was just all stats. It's fun to go back and forth, but at the end of the day, Ohio State's better than Indiana. And Ohio State is probably better than everybody else in college football, again, this season. Just like last year. Even though they barely beat Nebraska at home and they lost to Michigan. Ohio State, when they put their foot in the ground and wanted to play, they blew out everybody. And they're probably better than everybody else this year. And that's why no one likes them. That's why no one likes them. And that's why everybody can't stand their fans on X because they're evil, frankly, most of them. They're
hated. Yeah.
and talk to them. It's insane. Like you say anything about your team, and it's like, go shut down, sit down, you little whatever. And it's like, why, dude? It's like, you probably have zero football knowledge. You probably have zero football knowledge. Telling everybody to sit down instead of actually having conversations with people. There are great. I love Hummus here, and I love Stephen Cherry, and I love Troy V. But a lot of their fan base is obnoxious as heck, and they are annoying. And they get on everybody's nerves. And that's why everybody rooted for Michigan today or yesterday. I don't like Michigan. But everybody rooted for Michigan. It's because Ohio State's good. When Alabama, when they were what Ohio State probably is right now, because Georgia lost it. Kirby's not there right now, even though he's trying to get back there because people thought Kirby was going to take over. Ohio State's taking over now. Saban had the run. It's over. That's why Alabama's not as hated anymore. They still are. But they're not as hated because we lose sometimes now. Ohio State's the best team in college football. And until they're not, they are going to be the most hated team in college football. Alabama was the most hated team in college football. That's why I didn't talk to Mark about Alabama early on that much, because they were hated. It's okay. It's safe to be an Alabama fan now. As a normal, like, try to be non-biased, like I'm not a, you know what, piece of crap person that makes fun of everybody else. Like, even though I trash Auburn, I'm still nice to Auburn fans. You know, I mean, you in a civil person. It's not that hard. Ohio State fans are not civil. And Alabama fans were not civil either when we were winning all those championships online. It was frankly and very pedantic. It was terrible.
That's the thing too. I think a lot of people get that misconstrued. People like when Jeffrey, like when you were celebrating Indiana and people were trying to rain on your parade. People don't realize this is huge for Indiana. You should be excited.
I just wish people thought it was cool, man. Some people do. More people do now. But a lot of people just still think, like, man, I just hope they suck. Just stomp them down like an ant. It's like
enjoy the
Minnesota
moment.
Fans, for people that are fans of Louisville, Austin, you should want this, man, because it gives you belief you can do it.
Oh, I'm happy for you, Jeffrey. Like,
not you.
Don't ever hear me. I'm thrilled because, yeah, we're both fans of rich basketball programs, right? Like when Louisville and Indiana, and of course the Carolinas, we're supposed to win in basketball. But in football, when we go far and do something, we're thrilled. I mean, Louisville's had more glory days than Indiana ever has, so to speak. But it's just like I'm happy for Indiana. Even if they don't win, I'm still happy for them because it's just like enjoy this. Like they finally have something to look forward to besides basketball season. Like for the longest time, it's just like Indiana's just like, when's basketball going to start? Like now they could be like, oh, we could look forward to football. Like we don't have to clock out, you know, like Kentucky fans do now, where they're just like, okay, when's basketball season coming? You know, subtle dig at Kentucky. But that's how it is. I mean,
if you would have told me that this happened with the Big Ten team, out of any Big Ten team, like 3 years ago, which, if you would have posed the question, which Big Ten team will be being compared to Ohio State and be very close and have extreme national relevance, team out of the blue, I would have probably had Indiana as my very last choice. Maybe Northwestern. Like, seriously, no slight to Indiana. It's just the truth. Like, I would have thought it would have been more potential for Iowa, Illinois. Well, no, not
Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin. You know, Nebraska. I would have thought they would have returned. I literally would have thought that almost any program, probably outside of Rutgers and Northwestern, would have had a better chance. Crazy.
I agree with you. I mean, literally, the whole point of me rooting for Indiana basically as a side hustle to Alabama was because they were bad. That's the whole point. I mean, it's like the fact that they're doing this stuff just blows me away. It makes no freaking sense, and I love it. I don't want it to go away. And just because they lose to Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, probably, and then people like Caden are gonna be like, they're no good. It makes me sick, man. Like your team, you're Ohio State, man. You've been good your whole freaking life. Like it's like Alabama. If Alabama wins another title, I'm thrilled because I love Alabama, just like y'all love Ohio State. That like it's in your blood to love the team that you love. You're never going to apologize for winning. There's nothing wrong with that. But when somebody else that ain't good has success against like your team, maybe every now once in a blue moon, it's not okay to tip a cap sometimes instead of just trying to drag them into the dirt. That's the problem that I see. It makes me ill.
Yeah, no, I think, like I said it before. I think Indiana's I think it's a great story, and of course, I want Ohio State to beat. I want Ohio State to beat them, and I want to
absolutely
national champs. But
you should, hummus.
Go ahead, though, Austin. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Austin.
No, I was agreeing with you. I said you should when you said you want to beat them. Like, even though you're at the mountaintop, like, you should still want to beat them.
I'm happy for Vandy. I don't like Vandy like I like IU, but I'm happy for Vandy. But when Alabama played them, I wanted to beat them. I mean, again, it's just, I don't know. Hummus is reasonable. I try to be reasonable. There are people like that, that you can appreciate something despite when you play them, you want to beat. You know what I'm saying?
See,
that's okay. But other people, the internet just makes people vicious. But it's just like you just got to clown and trash and just you know what I'm saying?
Well, some people are also jealous of Indiana's success and that kind of meteoric rise. They're kind of they don't like it. They look at it and they say, "Oh, why can this, what they deem to be trash program or whatever, why can they achieve this and we're LSU or we're Tennessee or whatever and we can't do what they're doing."
But I mean, the thing is that Indiana, should be doing those teams a service and be like, well, hey, they've given the blueprint of how to do it.
Well, yeah, but when you bring 3/4 of your team with you, when like Signetti did.
He did not. He took about 9 players.
From James Madison? I can swear it was more than that. But anyway, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next year with IU football.
Mm-hmm.
But
he didn't take a lot of the James Madison players. He didn't take their quarterback. He didn't take most of he only he took Fisher, Pons, Surratt.
Yeah. He took I think he took like a lot of transfers, but not all of them were from Madison.
He didn't take a lot from Madison. That's why Madison fans are so mad. He took like 8 or 9 of their best players.
He did, but
players. But he didn't take the whole team because if he took the whole team over, they wouldn't have won.
No.
People are thinking that he took, because it's two things. He took a ton of transfers and he took quite a few from James Madison, but a lot of them were from other places too.
Mm-hmm. Which he did, and he's just like, all right, look at this. Look how bad Purdue football was before Joe Tiller's there. What did Joe Tiller do his first couple of years at Purdue? Back in the late 90s. Everybody hated Purdue because they couldn't stop. They couldn't figure out how to stop him. So one last thing I'm going to do is, hey, Austin, so how you think the IU Louisville basketball game will go next Saturday?
I think it'll be a fun, competitive game. I think I would pick us to win as of right now.
I agree.
And then in my opinion, as good as Louisville is, I don't think I may be thinking maybe a 15 to 20 point win.
Well, I mean, it's probably going to be a gut check for IU because, I mean, the best 2 teams that they've played, Kansas State at Assembly Hall and Marquette on a neutral site. Marquette has turned out to be bad.
Yeah.
State's decent. So, I mean, that's all IU's done. Louisville's a legitimate top 10 team. Obviously, in Indianapolis, there's going to be a lot of Indiana fans there, and they're probably going to watch that game and the Big Ten Championship game on the same day because they're both on the same day.
Feel like
but the thing is, though, they're not going to really spend as much as tickets are. They'll probably end up going to one or the other.
Some will do both. I think some will do both, but you're right.
Yeah.
But
I will say
Louisville's
this
better.
right now. Call me crazy. I think Louisville's season is going to end up at Lucas Oil Stadium in the Final Four.
That's possible. We've got the team to do it. This is probably one of the best teams we've had since the year we won the title.
Kelsey was a fantastic hire. And I said that when he got hired. I was on board.
And ironically, wasn't it 2013 when they won the national championship and they went through Lucas Oil Stadium in the regional?
Yeah.
That's when what's his name? Kevin
Ware. Yeah.
Yeah. That was
we beat Duke
Kentucky,
that year in the Yeah, we beat Kentucky and we beat Duke on the road to get to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. And both of them was there at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That was probably one of our greatest teams we've had.
Mm-hmm. Yep, not bad. No, just because I'm actually going to the game. I'm not going to because I got to go to the Purdue game next week against Iowa State. I don't know how good they're going to be. Iowa State is so far this year, but I think Purdue should have no trouble. But I will be in attendance for the Big Ten Championship next Saturday night, and I got a feeling Indiana's going to shock the world, man. And yet you're still going to have some doubters say, "Oh, IU just got lucky because can you really say it's truly a home field advantage when?" Yeah, I use an hour away, but Columbus is like, what, 3 hours away from Indianapolis?
Yeah.
There's probably going to be
it'll be a lot of Buckeye fans there.
Yeah,
they travel.
They're both close. Indiana's like an hour. Columbus is like a little over, maybe like 2 hours and 45 minutes if you drive quickly.
I don't know how, Hummus, but when y'all when y'all were in Washington, there was a good Buckeye contingent in that stadium. I don't know. I didn't know y'all traveled that good. I was like, wow, there's some red in this stadium. I'm like, I was thinking it was going to be all purple.
Yeah.
Purple and everything.
A lot of it is just the alumni base in different areas. So since Seattle's such a large metro area, there's just simply a lot of Buckeye alumni there.
Yeah, there were a lot of Indiana fans at the Oregon game. And see, the thing is before Indiana's rise the last 2 years or whatever you want to call it, they did not travel well because Indiana sucked. They had no reason to watch. That's why when Ohio State played at Indiana, Michigan played at Indiana, or any team played at Indiana, Indiana would basically almost get sellouts because the other team would
sell it out for you.
Kind of like how Indiana, Maryland, and Indiana, Purdue, both games were all IU fans there.
There's going to be, I anticipate Lucas Oil being probably pretty 50-50.
It'll be about 50-50. I think Ohio State probably will have more though. Probably.
Should be pretty relatively even.
Yeah,
it's close to 50-50. I'll be happy with that.
I think it was maybe like a 60-40 crowd at Ross 8 on Friday night. But it was bone chilling cold though, man. A lot of people like saying, why can they play this in the afternoon and the basketball game that night? Well, that's TV for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they moved the game. I mean, usually like Indiana, Purdue, back when the Big Ten was on ESPN, they would usually have them playing at like 3:30 on ESPN2.
Yeah.
That's the way it used to be. Like all those 5 and 6 games in the early Allen era, early Brom era, all those were on ESPN2 at like 3:30. Mm-hmm. Now that you got the NBC, it's like, let's put it on NBC with a Saturday night game, even though the game probably had no views because of Texas and Texas A&M. I mean, it was an absolutely terrible game to go up against. I watch both, obviously, but I'm not most people. Most people in the country would only have watched the other game.
Yeah, I'm still surprised that Texas did beat Texas A&M. Or did you?
Something told me to pick that, Michael. I almost did. I was sitting here on Monday last week when me and Will made our prediction. I was like ready to do it, and Will pulled me back. He was like A&M. The Sark's gonna try. I don't know, man. I felt it for some reason. I didn't pick it though, so I can't take it. I literally felt it. Something just A&M. They hadn't beaten anybody, and then I was like, okay. Besides Notre Dame, A&M, their best win.
Calling it for weeks.
Missouri.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeffrey, after that South Carolina. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, A&M maybe kind of had one coming. So, which could kind of be a blessing in disguise, though. That's what kind of scares me about, like, how you were saying last year, Jeffrey, like Ohio State lost to Nebraska, or I mean they had a close call with Nebraska, lost to Michigan obviously, and then had the close game with
Oregon.
And it it can kind of be a grounding effect. Now I don't know if each team's different, so not all teams are going to need that to kind of keep them motivated and keep them grounded, but it's always kind of scary. Like Ohio State's now going into the playoffs on a 16-game win streak, or going into the conference championship game here on a 16-game win streak, and it's always kind of like, it's great to have an undefeated season, but I don't know. It's always a little scary.
My thing is this, and I might be crazy, but I had a feeling the Big Ten is going to make it a three-peat this year.
I think it looks probable. I think like we were saying, I think if I had two teams that I say have a really good chance to win, I think it's Ohio State and Indiana, and then I'd put Oregon in the category right behind them with like Georgia.
And let's just say this might not be the only time Indiana and or Ohio State play.
Oh yeah, it could happen. And you know Georgia and Alabama could end up playing 3 times this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is possible.
Also, it's possible that Oregon and IU can play it too, but it's just, I think, now, which side of the bracket do you think Oregon would be on? Do you think they'd be on Ohio State side or Indiana side?
Depends on who wins the game. I mean, because more than likely the winner of the Big Ten title game is going to be number 1.
Yeah.
Unless somehow Georgia jumps them, which I don't see that. So probably
Georgia can't physically jump them. The winner, they have to have Indiana at number 1 if they beat Ohio State. And Ohio State, if they beat Indiana, will remain at number 1.
Absolutely. I mean,
the Big Ten championship game will be number 1.
Do you think IU would stay in the top 4 if it's a close game?
Yes, it'll be 4.
Oh, they're staying in
lower than 4th. It's unfair.
What. They're staying in the top 4 no matter what.
So they can. So it's possible the Big Ten could have 2 buys.
They're getting it, and unless one of the teams looks absolutely terrible.
Like if Indiana loses 45-0, then yeah, they'd probably drop out of the top 4.
It's highly likely that they both stay in there. There's a case to be made that they should still both be 1 and 2. Because I mean, look, they're both undefeated. Whoever loses is either going to have their only loss come from either the number 1 or number 2 team, who will end up being number 1 for sure. So whoever loses will have the only loss coming to the number 1 team. So,
it's like Penn State last year. Like they didn't drop that far, and people were making a fuss about that. If you remember that correctly.
Yeah, well, and they had a second loss. So this year is different. This year's different.
Yeah, the losers stay in the top 4, no doubt about it. Because I mean, there's no one to move ahead of them. I mean, you think about it, like Georgia beating Alabama could move ahead.
I mean, there's a very good argument that they should both still be 1 and 2. Like if it's
I think if Ohio State lost like 28-27, they'd move them to 2. I think if Indiana loses, even if it's 28-27, they'll move them to 3 or 4.
They'll move them to 3.
I mean, I'm sorry, there's just too much. There's too much bias there.
I agree, and the SEC wouldn't like it. The SEC will be.
Oh yeah, if Georgia beats Bama for sure. If Georgia beats Bama and Indiana loses to Ohio State, Georgia will move ahead of Indiana. There's already,
and then they will try to
be ahead of Indiana right now. So if that's the case, they will move Georgia ahead of Indiana.
And they'll try to lobby for Texas A&M too. I'm sure.
Not
they'll be like, "Oh, we need." You don't think they would at least try that to see if they can get A&M a bye?
A&M's not getting a bye.
Okay.
They didn't make their conference championship game.
I just want to see the Big Ten.
They're going to be behind Oregon, probably, right? I mean, that's the thing. Like, you look at the ranking, it depends on where they're ranked. If they're ranked 5th when they update it, Austin, then you could be right. Because Tech could lose, A&M could pass that. or Georgia could lose and they could pass them. But if they're 6th or 7th, then they're pretty much mathematically out of the top 4, no matter what.
They're still in. They just wouldn't be able to get the bye. I get what you're saying. Or they would need a lot of
you
help.
have to be in the top 4. I mean, if they're 5th, then either Georgia losing or Texas Tech losing, they could pass. But if they're 6th or 7th, I don't see Georgia and Texas Tech losing. So at 6, it'd be pretty mathematically impossible. And if they rank them 7th, because, I mean, there's a really good case to be made that Texas A&M should be behind Ole Miss and Oregon, that they should be 7th. Because, for one, when you lose matters. I'm sorry, it does. It does. They lost the last team to lose. Number 2, they have, outside of Notre Dame, a terrible resume. It stinks. Ole Miss's resume is better. Oregon's is better. Even though Oregon's resume is trash, it's better than Texas A&M's.
Oh, by the way, with Oregon's resume, I fell asleep earlier when I was watching the late games because it was just kind of. Did USC end up winning against UCLA? That game was close.
Yes, they won 29-10. 29-10. Okay.
Okay, so they pulled away eventually.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and here's the thing.
USC is a decent win for everybody that beat them.
So I know it's irrelevant, but honestly, between USC and Michigan, who do you think? Do you think Michigan drops farther? Come rankings. How far do you think they drop?
I mean, Michigan probably shouldn't be in the top 20.
They'll probably
wow. Okay.
They'll probably be between 20 and 25.
Okay.
They did not look good today. They looked bad.
No.
They looked soft.
That's why I'm saying, like, Indiana's got to compete, man. They compete. I mean, it's like with the Notre Dame thing. Like, everybody disparaged Indiana last year because of the Notre Dame game. You know, it's like, oh, they didn't compete with Notre Dame. You got to compete, man. I mean, Michigan, they had to put up a dogfight performance. They didn't. I mean, they got waxed.
I mean, for the first half, it was a dogfight. I mean,
for the first quarter.
I mean, for the
first quarter, really. Hey guys, we didn't talk about this. That play that they were making out to be controversial. I don't know if it's just me, but like what I was seeing on that play was that you know what I'm talking about, the Jeremiah Smith touchdown. What I was seeing was that he had control. He already established it was a catch. He caught the ball at like the 8-yard line. Like he literally took like 4 strides. And then it looked like to me that he clearly broke the plane before he bobbled the ball.
Like, see, that is what saved Jeremiah Smith, is that. Because if he had have caught the ball in the end zone with the ball,
100%.
Complete. But because he already had the football at the 8, he had the ball the whole time.
That's what I'm saying.
Plane, so that therefore is a touchdown. Yes, I went back and watched it because when I was looking at it at first, and the commentators and everybody was talking, I was like, "Oh yeah."
But
I looked at it again, and I was like, "Yeah, he called it way."
But hey, Jeffrey, how many games have you seen before in the past to where that happens? They get into the end, they bubble it, go out of bounds, and still not have control, and they rule it as a touchback.
But the thing is that the instant that you break the plane, we've seen it numerous times on like a running dive ball and the guy loses it. Like, it's just a weird thing. They were acting like he was completing the catch. He had already completed the catch.
He already completed the catch.
He completed the catch, but where I thought he lost it was right before, like maybe an inch or two before he got to the goal line. It looked like he bobbled it there.
No, it didn't look like it. It looked like he had firm control, like about a half-yard into the end zone.
That's
why I was confused.
Was actually the case, then it would have been a touchback. I do think that he had the ball when he crossed the plane. I do think so, which negates the whole point. But
yeah, I don't know.
If the game was close, then it would have mattered, because I saw Michigan fans saying, "Oh, if we lose because of this play, you know." Well, you
take that. Okay, regardless, take that touchdown back. Does it really matter? It's still a 20-9 win for Ohio State.
No, it didn't matter, and it could have been.
Since it didn't matter, then it's kind of irrelevant. I mean, I get
could have been worse too.
It was close, but since it appeared he had the ball when he crossed the plane.
It could have. The game could have been a lot worse too. And the final 2 drives, Ohio State probably could have scored touchdowns, but they wanted to just run the clock out and get.
But isn't that literally like all of Ohio State's games this year, though, Hummus? It just feels like they could have won by more.
Exactly.
Like Illinois.
I mean,
Washington.
It's smart though. Like, why do things like why extend games when you don't have to?
Exactly. I mean, I don't disagree. See, the difference is because people get mad at Signetti for doing that, supposedly, even though he does bench Mendoza in the 4th, like beginning of the 4th, and then is actually not bad either. But it's because like Indiana has to look good for people to, because the second they don't play well, Penn State gave them a game. That's the problem. Like Penn State, if people watch that game, Penn State played hard. Like Penn State, that was their best game all year. They played better against Indiana than they did against Oregon. And I understand people will say, well, Indiana allowed them to play good. You can make that argument, yeah, but Penn State like freaking showed up, man. Like that for whatever reason. I don't know if Terry Smith, man, when the dude got the interim job, they found a little bit against Ohio State, a little bit in the first half. It carried over because they freaking played hard. Like it was, I was blown away at how hard they played, and they didn't play that hard again the rest of the season. They played harder the rest of the way than they did. I know Steven, like it's like okay, I'm just saying, like Penn State played their best game of the season in that game.
They did recover a little bit. I mean, that was a really bad skid that they went on after the Oregon game, but they did end up finishing 6-6, right?
Yeah,
they're making a bowl game. But besides that game for IU, though, like the Indiana blew out basically everyone else other than Iowa.
Yeah,
Oregon technically was a blowout too, because they really should have won 30-13, but Mendoza threw the stupid pick 6. Other than that. And that was because EJ Williams broke his route. They should have won 30-13. Everyone else they blew out. They blew out everyone. I mean, Illinois, like beating Illinois 63-10 was impressive.
It was last time you see one team beat 3 teams by 50 plus in a season.
One at Clemson, I think.
I don't know. Good question.
I think it was Clemson. One of their years. But I mean, that's the ACC. I mean, still.
Like, I would make the case and make an argument, and Hummus, you can disagree with me on this. I would say Washington gave Ohio State a pretty good game all the way until about the 4th quarter, because that game was pretty close there for a while. That Washington defense was playing tough. Now, I know a lot of people say they didn't open the
Washington is pretty good at home.
Yeah. No, I agree. Washington played the Buckeyes probably better in most regards than anybody all season.
If that game had been at Ohio State, it had been ugly. I mean, you saw what happened when Washington went to Michigan.
Yeah, Washington's a different team at home. Like they played
barely beat Maryland on the road. Like at home, Indiana would have struggled at Washington. It probably would have been the exact same game as Penn State, either a close win or close loss. For real, for real. It's just the way that it is. There's some teams that they're them at home and them at another building is just 2 completely different teams. Jed Fish, if he stays there, because looking like Summerall going to Florida, so maybe he stays there. If Fish stays there, maybe eventually he'll have a team that can actually win on the road. But right now, they're just a home team. That's it.
They're decent. They're a decent team, but they're definitely suspect on the road for some reason. It's always kind of strange. I mean, I get it, the home field advantage, but that can't account for. I don't know.
If you play so good at home, enough of it should carry over. Is what you're saying?
Exactly.
I agree.
I feel like for me, Washington's going to be what Iowa is in the Big Ten, 8-4, and the occasional 9-3 year. I mean, they're just going to be a decent to really
somebody
good team.
has to do that, Austin. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like when you like what Indiana's done the last 2 years, and we'll see what happens in the future, whether they fall off or not. But what Indiana's done is completely different. you have tier programs. Sometimes teams can go up a tier and sometimes teams can go down a tier or a lot of tiers depending on how things go. But you have to have some team in the secondary category. You look at Washington historically, they're a good program. Top 25 to top 20.
Yeah.
Good program. They've had success. But a lot of their history is 8-4.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how
somebody's got to go 8-4, and Washington's a prime candidate for that.
Yeah, I think they'll still have a higher ceiling than Iowa, Iowa of the years past. But I think that you're probably right that most years they probably will be in this kind of second to third tier of the Big Ten range where they're 8-4.
And they could have a year where they break through.
Right.
Like they did with Penix.
They have some things going for them. It's a really big school, good resources, some tradition, so.
Iowa's going to be an interesting case when Ferentz is gone. Because I don't know if anybody could replace that and just be the consistent 8-4. I don't know. I mean, they're the most consistent program of all time under a 30-year span. Every year.
8-4
the same.
Consistent.
All right, Jeffrey. Thanks so much, man. Guys, have a good one. Hummus, I wish you could be in Indianapolis next week so we can meet up, man.
Yeah, I'd like that too, but I don't think I can make it, man.
That bad. All right, guys. Hey, so when are you going to start talking basketball, Jeffrey?
I've been watching basketball. I haven't been able to go live for it. My schedule is tough. It's very hard to fit stuff in. It's hard to do this show because I got to be up early on Sundays. But it is what it is. I just accept the fact that on Sunday morning I'm gonna be tired. You know what I'm saying? So I want to do streams. I'll have to wake up a lot early. So I don't know. I want to do them though. Like the feast.
Somebody's got to feed the horse.
Would have been great. But I'll try to go live again for basketball. I'll try sometimes.
I figure you'd probably do it after football.
Yeah, it's easier to do football and all this is over. I won't be having the Saturday night stream, which sad. I've been enjoying these. But I mean, you maybe replace it with a basketball stream a week. We'll see. We'll see. I definitely want to do it though, because it's always a ton of fun.
Yep. All right, guys. Have a good one. See ya.
You have a great night, Michael.
Yep.
Great talking to you again.
Yep.
And you have a great night as well. Jerry, he looks like he's about to be going to bed as well. Even though he literally said, let's go till 5 a.m. 5 minutes ago, which is hilarious. That is funny. But yeah, the choices catch them eventually. Yeah, I gotta get to sleep. I'd rather not do it in church though, But I do appreciate everybody being. I'm not hanging it up yet. Me, Hummus, and Austin. If you guys go a little longer, we can go a little longer. But
yeah, I just want to talk about.
It's like one more. Go on, Austin.
I just want to talk about one more thing. I want to talk about Bama Auburn real fast because I do want to hear this. So Jeffrey, Bama was up 17-0, and then all of a sudden this is 2020, and then DeBoer decides to go for it. Jeffrey, I know he went for it and got it, but please tell me, as a rational Bama fan, please tell me you would have taken the points there, even if that scenario. Please tell me you would have taken the points.
Well, I mean, the thing for me with that, in general, I'm more of a take the points guy. When I'm watching games and there's you're in a situation where you're tied or something like that, or you're up 4, and a team wants to get a touchdown, it's like take the points, go up 7, because you're pretty trouble free at that point of not in danger of losing. Whereas if you go for it and you're up 4, the other team can score a touchdown and win. So I watch games with people. And people be like, no, you got to go for it, man. You got to, take the game over. It's like, but if you don't get it, it's over. At least if you kick the field goal, it gives, you're in pretty good shape. I am more of a take the points type of guy. In that instance, though, I still probably would have taken the points if it was me, because I'm more of that type of person. But I don't completely disagree with why he did that because, I mean, it would have been a little bit more of an argument if Talty was missing. Now, Talty rebounded. Great game by him because dude's been getting so much flack and slander online. Kudos to him. Stepped up, made all the field goals. So you didn't have that aspect. If he was still off, then it would have made something like, hey, our kicker's just MIA. He can't hit anything. Then going forward would have made a lot more sense. But on the other hand, I think Alabama was at like the 5, 6. So it's Ohio State. Ohio State, Indiana. Auburn, 95 yards, to get a touchdown, and at least 65 yards to get in the field goal range. It's a lot of yards and not a lot of time left. So I can get it. I can understand it. Take complete control of the game, which they did. But they better be freaking glad it worked, because if it didn't work and then somehow Auburn went down the field and won, yeah, okay. DeBoer would have gotten completely roasted for that.
Well, it reminds me of the Dan Campbell approach in Detroit. And don't get me wrong, I like Detroit and I like Dan Campbell.
I like Dan Campbell too, man, but my Lord. Oof.
See, that's what I'm worried about with DeBoer. I feel like he's taking some of that more approach, and he's getting them, which is good. But there's going to be times where you're like 0 for 4, like Dan Campbell was that one Sunday night game that they were playing. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, I understand you're playing. It was in Philly a couple weeks ago. And I was like, I understand the wind's kicking and the rain's starting, and you probably don't want to kick field goals. And I understand the wind, but it's just like you're 0 for 4. Learn when it's not your day. And I feel like DeBoer, one of these days, he's gonna go like 0 for 4, and it's gonna bite him. And a lot of times when you do that, it does bite you. I mean, that's what I worry about. I'm with you on that, Jeffrey. I understand why he did it. He wanted to wanted an exclamation point. He was like, Auburn, you're going to have to go down the field and tie us. We're not going to give you a chance to get in field goal range. Much easier to get in field goal range than it is to go the distance and get the touchdown. I understand why a lot of coaches are like, let's do this now. At least if you go down the field on us and get the touchdown, at least you will have earned it. I understand that, but it's just like, I feel like he's taking the Dan Campbell philosophy.
He's flirting with disaster.
Yes.
Like the Molly.
And it's going to end up.
I mean, it's sketch. I mean, to me, the play that was even crazier was going for it at midfield earlier in the game, and they got it. Like you said,
Simpson almost got sacked. I don't know how he stayed up on his feet.
That's why, like I said, Ty Simpson, even though I gave Horton, the player of the game on offense, that's what we did on the Bama channel. I also was like, literally, Ty Simpson kind of deserves player of the game too, because he made the throws and he kept staying on his feet. I don't know, man. Simpson made errors, bad throws in the game, but I mean, he was clutch at times.
But he makes throws. Not to cut you off, Jeffrey, but that throw to Horton, the one that we were just talking about, how many quarterbacks that can make that throw?
In college football, there's probably on one hand.
I mean, that's a tight window. You realize because that could have easily been batted down or deflected, and to fit that in there too. And it's just like you said, there's probably maybe 3 quarterbacks. I could maybe say Mendoza maybe would have made that throw. Maybe saying, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe those are the 3. I mean, I don't know if anybody else that I would trust.
Quarterbacks in the country. Quarterback. QBs. I'm talking traditional quarterbacks. I'm not talking about scramblers. And I know Ty Simpson technically is a dual threat guy, which we hear a lot. It cracks me up the amount of times I have heard this season. Yeah, Ty Simpson technically was listed as a dual threat quarterback coming out of high school. It's a part of his game. I'm like, doesn't matter.
But like you said, though,
the dude can run sometimes. It's cool, but it's like he's not Milroe. There's a big difference between a guy that uses his legs to elevate his entire game because he's not a great passer or his passing is limited. So he has to use his legs all the time to make up for that. Ty Simpson is clearly a better quarterback than he is a runner. He can run. It is a part of his skill set. But he's not a threat guy like those other dudes, where it's like he has to do it. The only reason he really has to do it all the time is Bama's O-line is kind of, at times, a little bit off.
Mendoza can run a little bit.
Mendoza can run too, but he's a quarterback. He throws. Running is his last option.
Right.
Like Julian saying.
Saying is
like,
too.
Like I'll watch Saying and like a lot of times, like you'll see a team like they don't put a spy up against Ohio State. There's no need to because they're like, we ain't scared of him. It's like with Bama, they don't do it either.
That's a true quarterback, though.
Mm-hmm. Mendoza, they're starting to do it a little bit, though.
Yeah,
Jeffrey, I have noticed.
I was just gonna say, Saying did gain 1 first down on a scramble today, but he's not much of a runner.
The only reason they're starting to do with Indiana is because it's kind of like Indiana's designed offense. The RPO stuff. They do a lot of the RPO stuff, and it's like running is his last option. Sometimes they call it, but it's rare. I've watched every Indiana game this season, and they've probably specifically called Mendoza to run like maybe 10 times all year.
Yeah, I think he ran more.
It's just because he chose to run because either he had to or it was there, not because the play was specifically designed to do it. Ty Simpson's a better runner than Mendoza is.
I don't know. I remember watching Mendoza at Cal, and I seem to remember that he was running maybe more there. Probably because
he did because he was getting sacked all the time.
Yeah, the offensive line was so bad, but I think
Cal had the worst rated O-line according to Pro Football Focus in last year. Either that or they had the most sacks, which like equates to being like the worst or one of the worst. They were terrible. They were awful. I think Mendoza got sacked like 52 times last year. I remember that.
Well, some quarterbacks have poor pocket awareness, but clearly that's not Mendoza. So that means that it probably was a very bad offensive line.
Yes.
Like it can be skewed a little bit by that because like that's one of the knocks on. Once again, I'm not a Kyle McCord hater like everybody who was trashing him, but he really didn't seem to have the great. At least when he was at Ohio State, he seemed to kind of have. And he was dealing with the ankle injury that year too, which really limited his mobility. And he's not once again, not a real dual threat. But he seemed to have poor pocket awareness, and it was leading to sacks. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Like Julian Saying's not a great scrambler, and he's not particularly fast, but he seems to know how to move around in the pocket really well and get rid of the ball in time. So
yeah. Manipulating the pocket is a key quarterback trait. Being able to move around and stay in there long enough to complete pass, specifically if the route that the coordinator, the offensive coordinator schemes up for a player takes a while to develop. I mean, there's a reason why so many teams lose to Ohio State and Bama back in their heyday of their defense and other teams like that. Because they don't have enough time to make the routes develop. So then all the stuff is short, all the passes are short, and then eventually you're going to throw a pick because Ohio State's like, let's just jump the route. If you can have enough time to go over the top, then you have a chance. Kind of like Indiana in 2020. The first half, Ohio State, in the pandemic year, just completely destroyed IU. But then in the second half, IU was going over the top. Penix, I don't know if Ohio State. I think Ohio State partially just kind of like took the foot off the gas a little bit, and then Indiana just like stormed back.
No, that Ohio State secondary in 2020 was bad. Remember what ended up happening in the title game to Alabama?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Alabama had really good. Obviously, they had great passing game that year, but like that was definitely the Achilles heel of that Ohio State team. Like if that Ohio State team had the secondary that they have this year, they might have beat Alabama. Because that's exactly Alabama killed them through the air.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith single-handedly made his draft stock and won his Heisman off that game. Like, he was killing that. There was nothing y'all could do. Like, it didn't matter what pass Mac Jones threw that game. He could have threw it low, high, in between. It didn't matter. Devontae Smith was going to catch that.
They didn't scheme well either. They could have they weren't making things any better. Like I said, it was a personnel issue, but also that was when they were trying Kerry Combs at DC, and it was a really bad game plan scheme for that game. It was like bad. So, but yeah.
And here's the thing too, and I want to say this before we get off here, is that, like, here's the thing, and I give all the credit to Bama. A lot of people may look at this and say, may give Bama a lot of flack and think Bama should be punished for this. Like, and I've already seen that narrative out there. And it's just like, it's a rivalry game. It's one of those games that you kind of have to throw the record books out. I know it's cliche, but it happens. You forget Auburn's in all this disarray. This game, always at Jordan-Hare, is always different. Now, next year when they go to Tuscaloosa, Bama might win 52-7 and might be a runaway. But when they play in Jordan-Hare, this game's always like this. Like, it just is.
They've survived. They've survived it though. Quite a few times they haven't. So the past couple times there's been kind of a scare. Was that the last time they were in Jordan-Hare with Isaiah Bond?
Yeah, Isaiah Bond, 4th and 31 was in 2023. Milroe to him, and then in 2021 it was Bryce Young to Corey Brooks.
Yeah,
to save the day. So last 2 times in Jordan-Hare before tonight, they literally won on like the final play of the game type stuff. And then this game was not as nail biting, still very nail biting.
Like, Auburn could use some stickum tonight. They couldn't hold on to the ball. Like,
Auburn
Jeffrey
needs to literally play this way every game. I've said it for years with that program. If they play, is put on a wall. Their new coach put on a wall. I agree with you on they were butterfingers tonight. They were so butterfingers. But if I'm the next Auburn coach, if I was named the next Auburn coach, I would put on the board. They have the little meetings in a little room or whatever. And they scheme and game plan on whatever the flip they do. I would put on the board. I would say, play like you play against Alabama every game. We're gonna do this.
They'd be unfreaking stoppable.
Because if we can do that, if all these close losses to Bama, then we should be beating everyone else. Besides Bama, Georgia, we could go 10-2 every freaking year. We could be good. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally. People say Auburn is a talent problem. They have more of a talent problem now than they used to because they've been bad for so long, so it is slipping, but they still have good players. It's not exactly a talent problem. It's mostly just an effort issue. It's been an issue for years.
Well,
make fun of them because Georgia and Alabama are the 2 games they get up for. And every other game, they just like, whatever.
Like Kentucky, Jeffrey, that's a perfect example. They lost 10-3 to Kentucky, and you'll hear all these national media personalities say, Alabama sucks. They couldn't even beat the team that couldn't even put 10 points up on Kentucky and Mark
Georgia
Stoops.
beat Florida 24-20, but Florida lost to Kentucky 38-7.
See, it makes no sense, though, Jeffrey.
It's
that's what I'm saying,
football.
though. They're gonna use that, though, against you. Like, for these people that want Bama to be out of the playoffs, be gone, they will use that. Just like the year when they lost to New Mexico State, and then it took the 4th to 31. They tried to use that against you to keep you out of the playoffs. Like it's coming, Jeffrey, especially if Georgia beats you. They're going to use that and say, look what they did against Auburn at the end of the year. Why are we rewarding this? Just wait for it. It's coming.
If they lose to Georgia, there is a legitimate argument to miss the playoffs. And I've said this for weeks. Since the Oklahoma loss, I told Jackson on the Bama show, I told Bama Nation on the Bama show, I'm like, hey, we lose we beat Auburn, and then we lose to Georgia/Texas A&M in the SEC championship game. There's a chance that we do not get in, and I think that holds true. I know it's Bama, and I know SMU last year, because everybody's wanting to point to that. And I understand that. Oh, well, SMU lost in the ACC championship game close to Clemson, and they left them in. The difference is that SMU had fewer losses than all the teams on the outside. So SMU had 2 losses, those had 3. The difference here is that Alabama's going to have 3 losses while all those teams have 2. That's the difference. So it's a problem. Now, the difference, too, is that SMU's not a brand, and all those teams on the outside like Bama and Ole Miss, and even South Carolina, they're not brands, Ole Miss, South Carolina. But Alabama's brand, and it's Bama. So it's the opposite here. It's going to be interesting. A 10-point loss to Georgia, you're going to have the Miami versus Bama. You're going to have the Vandy versus Bama, the head-to-head there. But again, the committee is going to have a conundrum on their hands. The committee is probably, whether people say that the committee wants Bama to lose, Bama helps ratings. They're going to – the best case scenario for them is for Alabama to win, so they don't have to worry about it.
See, here's the thing. Ohio State, Indiana, and that game is just pure for pride for the Big Ten. Winner takes that. Bama, Georgia, there's a little bit to that. The real game that we're all going to be paying attention to is Duke, Virginia, because if Virginia wins, then we avoid all these wacky scenarios, and the ACC winner goes, and everything's happy do good.
BYU, Texas Tech matters too, though, because again, if BYU, Texas Tech both get in, if BYU loses, only Tech gets in, so that it frees up an at-large.
Yes, but if Duke wins, then that whole wacky scenario, do we have to put Duke in? Do we put 2 group of 5s in? Yeah. But if Virginia wins, we avoid all those doomsday scenarios, and we can go on about our business. If you want chaos, root for Duke next weekend.
I mean, I'm okay with that because, if Duke wins and they put the 2 group of 5, that does not affect Alabama at all because those are just the guaranteed champions, So if it's Tulane or North Texas / James Madison over Duke, both of them getting in, that doesn't affect anything. Honestly, that's not really that chaotic. That's just more like the ACC getting left out. It's hilarious because of how bad the league was.
Yeah. Anyone knows bad?
It's not affecting that. The key game is BYU Texas Tech. That is the key game because that specifically affects an at-large. Because Texas Tech is going to get in no matter what. They are too highly ranked. They are going to be 4th in the nation on Tuesday. A loss to BYU is not going to drop them all the way from 4th to out. So they're in. BYU is the team. They have to win. BYU is out. So that's why the BYU Texas Tech game, all of those teams on the edge, Bama, Notre Dame, Miami, all of them, they care about that
game. And it's one of them too. And here's the thing too, Jeffrey. You remember when I asked you a long time ago, I said, who's more likely to sneak an 8-4 team in the playoffs when it expanded, the ACC or Big 12? And your response resoundingly was the Big 12. You even said you never thought the day would come the ACC would have an 8-5 champion, but here we are. Possibly.
Well, I was not anticipating the brands being inept.
You thought the Big 12
I wasn't expecting that. The Big 12, when I said that, the Big 12 didn't have Texas Tech. Texas Tech literally the year before was 8-5. So my mind think of Texas Tech as an 8-5 program. But now that NIL's in play, Texas Tech is like Indiana. They get good players. And they're in a league that sucks, so they can beat up the Little Sisters of the Poor, even though I don't think most of those teams are really the Little Sisters of the Poor, but they make them look that way. That's what happened today, and that's what actually happened most of the season. They blew out most of the teams they played. Only Arizona State got them. They pretty much floored everybody. And in their headline game, BYU got blown out. So Texas Tech, I was not anticipating Texas Tech being what Texas Tech is currently because Texas Tech upped their NIL game. So that has changed. The rest of the Big 12, there's usually one or two teams that has a good year, and BYU's been that team. You know, you've had Iowa State in the past. You've had Kansas State in the past. You've had Baylor in the past, TCU in the past, Cincinnati in the past, pre-Big 12, obviously. But, you know, UCF was
Colorado last year was that
now
team.
Frost is history. He's terrible. But, I mean, it's the point, yeah, Oklahoma State, they're, you know, whatever. But, like, the Big 12, that happened. They could have an 8-5 champion still. But Texas Tech being good for now, maybe in the future, hurts that chance. See, the ACC, I mean, you've got Miami being Miami every year, and then Clemson stinks, and then Florida State. So that's why it opened the door. I mean, Miami should have won the ACC. I mean, they're the reason that I clown so hard on Miami, one is for Will because I want him to win his money. Part of it, that's why I've gone off the rails with it, is for that. I want Notre Dame in the playoffs for him, and they should get in anyway. The second reason is because Miami, being as talented as they are, they should have done what Texas Tech did. They were infinitely better than every other team.
11-1.
Why did they not do that? That is why I clown them. And to G-Money's point, Tech didn't have their starting quarterback either against Arizona State, so they really should be undefeated. Which pains me to say that because Texas Tech is not as cool of a story as Indiana, because Indiana does not have even some of the. Texas Tech is a better roster than Indiana. They actually have studs. But I mean, Indiana's got good players, but they're just not as gifted, you know, talent-wise. They're not. I mean, I've watched both teams. David Bailey. Mikael Kamara, I love Mikael Kamara. I love Aiden Fisher. But are those guys David Bailey? No, they're not. They're not even in the same league. They just play well. David Bailey's he's good.
Stud.
Good dude.
He's probably a top 10 draft pick.
Same thing, man. So, I don't know. Like Miami should have won the ACC, and that's why I clown them so hard. There's no reason they shouldn't have won the ACC.
And see, that's the thing too. Is the thing is too with Miami, Jeffrey, is they do it every time though. Like
it's hilarious
when you least expect them to, that they blow it. I mean, it's just truthful. I mean, after they beat Notre Dame, a lot of people were rating the national champion. Even some people were like, they're better than Ohio State. They're better than Alabama. They're better than all these teams. And I know you were a big proponent of saying it's week one, let's cool our jets. Like, and even after they beat South Florida, which that was a good story for a long time, people were like, see, they just beat the best group of 5 team. Where is their respect? Where's their respect? They're going to win it all this year. And, of course, you had the Miami fans saying, Ohio State's scared of us. They don't want to come play us. And then they lose a couple weeks later to us. And it's just like, and then you didn't hear any more from them.
I mean, it's not a knock on Louisville and SMU, because I think Louisville and SMU are both decent.
We're in the Iowa category. We're like Iowa. 8-4,
Miami should not have lost to those teams. I mean, yeah, again, everybody talks about Indiana, Penn State, Indiana, Iowa, but they won. I mean, plus, I mean, especially Penn State, it's still a good team that played there this year.
Yeah.
And plus, it's Happy Valley with 100,000 fans. I mean, Miami lost to Louisville.
Yeah.
That's rough, dude. That is rough. And SMU didn't have any fans. I think that game was at SMU. SMU has no fans. That's like one of the easiest places to play. Like, I don't know, dude. I mean, Miami should have won the ACC. So, I mean, everyone looked at this type of game. Here, I picked Pitt. That aged like milk. Because Miami played good today. Yeah, when Miami wants to play good. Like, everybody keeps telling me that. Well, when Miami, like, yeah, cool. Do that every week, though. I mean, everyone's going to have a bad game, like you said, but Miami had 2 really bad games, and they didn't win them. That's the problem.
See, and here's the thing, too.
Because there's no team. You think about it. There's no team in the top 12 outside of Bama's Florida State loss everybody keeps talking about. Miami has 2 losses to teams that are just out of the picture. All the teams ahead of them, their losses are to teams that are in the picture, basically. Pretty much.
Yeah. And here's the thing what I equate it to is Miami, if they wanted to, they could probably play Ohio State today, and I think it would be a competitive game. I do. I'm echoing.
Is it you echoing or is it hummus?
It might be me. I don't know. I was doing that at the beginning too. But hey, I'm gonna get off here anyways because I'm falling asleep big time. So, but
I appreciate you for coming on, hummus. And I was like, like the conversation we had earlier. I was not upset at you at all. I was passionate there. It was a great conversation. I mean, I agree with 99% of what you say. So it's like I agree with you. It's just
no, and I agree with you. I agree with you on principle too. Like I agree. And when it applies to a situation like what people are talking about with Miami this year, like absolutely, because it's already established. Like it's their tiebreakers and all this stuff. It's established, and the CFP what they do, it's established. So like, but. All right, man. Well, hey, good talking to you guys. I appreciate the conversation, and have a good week, and we'll talk maybe next weekend.
That sounds great. Can't wait for next Saturday night, and hope you have a great night.
All right. Thanks, guys.
You have a good one. I think it might be me.
So,
is it me?
No, I think we're good now.
Yeah, I think it was hummus accidentally. It was someone. I thought it was me though, because it was like only echoing when I was talking. I don't know. It's all good. Our devices are tired. That is what it is.
Yeah. And which we will get out here on this note so we can both get some sleep. Jeffrey's got to go pray to the Lord. I got to go feed some horses in the morning. But I will say this though, Jeffrey, it's nice to be in the winner's circle when it comes to rivalry week. Indiana putting foot to Purdue. Louisville, we took care of the Governor's Cup. Did North Carolina take care of business?
Nah, they lost NC State.
Oh.
Belichick ended the season.
Jeffrey, you could have been 3-0 during rivalry week, had state bragging rights. Oh,
you want to know what's funny, Austin? It reminds me of something. There was a conversation on the major media networks at the beginning of the season, and I think you remember this because most people probably do, and you know what network it was. At the beginning of the season, they were doing what if questions or is it more likely, stuff like that. There was a question. They asked one dude on there, is it more likely that North Carolina makes the ACC title game or goes 4-8? The dude said making the ACC title game was more likely. And you know what I said? I told my dad, I said, I think it's more likely we go 4-8. I didn't say it on here, which I wish I had it. I wish I had it, but I did say it because I never was high on Bill. You know that. You remember when I did my video on? I was not high on Bill. But I remember that dude. I think I remember who said it, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna be too brutal. I've already been kind of brutal with it a little bit. But there was a dude that he said UNC is gonna make the title game instead of going 4-8. It's more likely. Well, they went 4-8, so.
I mean, here's the thing. Like I said, even though North Carolina didn't win for you, Jeffrey, you got 2 out of 3. Indiana's going to play for the Big Ten title game. Bama's going back to the SEC title game. And of course, Jeffrey, it's kind of funny. It's you should be. I mean, especially for Indiana, like kind of like I was for Louisville last couple years when we made the title game. You enjoy it when you're not on the mountaintop. Always, you enjoy these a little better. But I will say this though, Jeffrey, isn't it just destiny that Bama and Georgia are just meant to play each other for the biggest of games? Isn't it just destiny?
It's so crazy. We talked the whole time about like who was going to be in the SEC title game. I think your picks were A&M and LSU, and literally A&M had it, and somehow it got ripped away from them. week of the season. Your A&M pick was great, but until it wasn't, it's unreal. Like, they were destined to be in the title game all year with their schedule, and they choked against Texas and the tiebreakers and all that other crap or the point differential with Georgia. And basically, like, I don't know if they did point differentials, like the records of who you play. I don't remember how they did it. I think it was the records though, but Texas A&M had a weak schedule, so it was going to be behind.
It was another one of them. The great picks I had.
I think I don't remember what I said.
I think you were Texas.
Did I say Bama, Georgia? Or I said Texas. Did I say Texas? I know
you might have said Texas. You had Bama. Because Will didn't have Bama.
Texas. That just sound that I'd have to go back, man. Did I really? Because I was not high on Texas. Did I really say Texas? I don't think so.
I could be wrong. You might have said Georgia, which if you did, I'm not trying to take your props. Maybe it was Will who said Texas.
I just don't think I said Texas because I've never once believed in them. I just don't think I did.
It might have been Will because Will seemed like he was buying it for a minute.
I was not buying Texas at all with Arch. I never was high on Arch. I wasn't even high on Penn State. I never foresaw. That's correct. I never could have seen it coming with Penn State going 6-6. I did not see that. But the supposed darlings of the preseason, the Clemsons, the Penn States, the Texas, I was not really super high on any of them. Out of all of them, I was higher on Clemson.
Well,
you just expected Clemson was going to be able to beat LSU because it's LSU, and then I expected Clemson to do well in the ACC because it's the ACC, and they somehow didn't either. So
and it's kind of
yeah.
Like, looking back at it now real fast, out of the big 4 title games, how many of them do you think you actually got correct? I predicted Duke, SMU for the ACC. I predicted A&M LSU, which I almost had that one, almost. The Big 12, I think I said Tech and Kansas State. I got half of that one. And then the Big 10, I said Ohio State, Penn State.
I can't remember if I made predictions with Will. I think I might have though. I think we might have gone off like our records. Because I think we did do that. We did our predictions for each team, didn't we?
And to be honest with you, Jeffrey, the one my SEC prediction, that was the one I was least confident in. Because I even said when I did it with Jackson, I was like, because Jackson even asked me, he said, which one are you least confident in that you made so far? I said the A&M LSU prediction. I picked the 2 biggest chokers in the league. Like Duke, I was like, okay, that's a possibility. SMU, they return just about everybody.
I feel like when it comes to the SEC, I do feel like I said Bama, Georgia, because it's just obvious.
You might have.
It just I think I did. If I said Bama Tech, if I go back and I said Texas, I'm gonna be just livid because there's that's like it just feels like a sin. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way that I said Texas. I think I said Bama, Georgia because I never was high on A&M. You know that I didn't think A&M would do this good. It turns out their schedule sucked, but like you can't predict that. You didn't expect they played to suck. But
you actually made a short on it, Jeffrey. That's why it's so memorable because you actually put a short on your channel because I sent it in through a super chat and you actually made a short out of it. That's how legendary that's become because literally you were like, boo. You give me LSU, Texas A&M over to the SEC championship game over Bama, Georgia, and Texas and even Ole Miss. You were letting me have it. I'll never forget that.
I love talking sports, man, but sometimes when I just hear something like that, that's why the chat. You guys are great. Yeah, that's why I say you guys make the show what it is because you guys say stuff like like the buttons to press. You know what I'm saying? Like like what's gonna get me going. Like sometimes I can't.
But here's the thing, though.
To take the bait, but sometimes it's just like it's just too good, you know.
But here's the thing, though. It's like but here's the thing, though, Jeffrey. Like a lot of times, you and Will and Jackson all think I say things that set you all up, but I truly believe a lot of what I say. Like the perfect one, Jeffrey, 8-4 Florida. I was willing to die on that hill. That year.
And they went 8-5, so it's like, I mean, it's pretty darn good.
Like, it's just one of them, Jeffrey. I think I make so out there predictions. You have to bite on it sometimes. Just to bite on it.
Yeah.
But hey, we all make our wacky predictions. But I will say this: what no wacky prediction is, though, Jeffrey, is Indiana's going to be playing for the title next week, Big Ten title. That's not a wacky prediction. That's going to happen. Now,
I'm still blown away with it. I did not pick that, and no one picked it. Outside of maybe
you didn't even pick it. Okay.
Yeah, I had Indiana going 9-3. Losing
okay.
I had them losing to Oregon. I had them losing to Penn State, and I had them losing to Iowa, I think.
Oh wow, you lost all the games that a lot of people picked them to lose. Then
yeah, I mean, because I almost went 10-2, but everyone was like, "Well, Jeffrey, they're going to take a step back." And, I mean, I didn't know how good Mendoza would be. I said he was going to be good. I remember you fourth on my list. But I didn't think I didn't know he was going to be Heisman race either. You know, I mean, it's hard to predict that. I mean, if Indiana keeps up the success, then people will start to take him seriously. But it's just it was one good year, right? People just thought they were going to fall off, and I thought with the schedule being harder that they would lose those games. But you know, Penn State ended up being bad, which helped IU, and Indiana played very good against Oregon.
They did.
Yeah, that's Indiana's ceiling. The way they played against Oregon, that is what they're capable of at their high. They did not play as well.
Jeffrey, if that Indiana shows up next weekend, they've got a chance.
They have a chance.
Yeah. They legit do. Because they dominated Oregon. That defensive line took Oregon to task.
Oregon had 2 rushing yards in the second half. 2.
That's the thing. If that Indiana shows up, you all have got a chance next weekend. As slim as it is now, if they play at that level, Ohio State will be in for a dogfight.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, though. I know I had Ohio State obviously making the title game. The Big Ten. I might have.
I know you didn't pick Penn State.
No, because definitely not. Definitely not.
Did you pick Oregon? You might have picked Oregon, Ohio State.
I remember not being super high on them either early on. I don't remember what I say half the time, man. Like, it's just so long ago. And I don't write stuff down most of the time. I think I said Oregon. Don't quote me on that, but I think I said Oregon. I know I didn't say Penn State.
That sounds like something you would say.
Michigan either. Or USC. So it probably was Oregon. I know for the Big 12, I feel like I said Kansas State and Iowa State. I feel like I did. Sounds right to me.
Okay.
I think I said
so we both
BYU I had fallen off. I had BYU falling off after Retzlaff. And then Tech, I think I had Tech going 8-4.
Mm-hmm.
And I was off because I didn't buy the NIL hype. I mean, they did a good job. They did a good job. I mean, kudos to them. They bought some good ones.
I had Texas Tech going 9-3, so it wasn't like I was that much better. But but the way the Big 12 is, Jeffrey, we've known this for years. You could be 9-3 and still make the conference championship game. That's the kind of chaos it is.
I think I had Kansas State going like 9-3, and I had Iowa State going 10-2.
Jeffrey, you talk about whiffing. I had Kansas State going 11-1. I whiffed bad on that one.
I mean, I wasn't super off on Iowa State. I mean, they could have been better. They had a couple bad games. You know, they could have been there. Kansas State, I was off on. I mean, they didn't do good. The thing is, they actually had a couple games this year where they looked good, but most of the season.
Yes. Yeah, I think injuries really hit them hard this year. One of them years where the injuries hit them. But I will say this, though, Jeffrey. It's good to be in the victory circle again. Indiana, Louisville, Bama. Sorry, North Carolina, you don't get to be in the victory circle. Sorry to tell
Maybe
you.
next
It's
year.
basketball season. Yeah, yep. But Jeffrey, it's always a pleasure talking to you as always. And enjoy Indiana going to the Big Ten title game. No matter what anybody
We don't know
says,
if
it's
it will
still a good
ever
accomplishment.
happen again, so we got to savor it, right?
Yes. I mean, Louisville, we've been in the conference 10 years, and we just made it to our first conference title game last year in basketball. So you got to savor it while you can. So enjoy it, Jeffrey. Even if they get blown off 56-3, it's still good that you got to go there and got to watch them. That's all that counts. I know
Absolutely.
a lot of people won't look at it that way, but as always, Jeffrey, thank you as always. And for tonight, Jeffrey, we're going to give you a roll Tide and roll Hoosiers and roll Cards too while we're at it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You have a great night, Austin. Definitely congrats to Louisville. They capped off their season in a great way after the rough middle section of the season. Good job for Jeff Brom. Great day of college football, though. Great weekend of college football. I loved watching all these games. Some were terrible games. Some of them were not good. Some of them did not live to the hype. But there were some classics. Bama, Auburn was a classic. The A&M Texas game had some moments. Ohio State, trouncing Michigan. Good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff. It was a lot of fun. Regular season's over. Got the conference championships next week, and then we got bowl season in the playoffs. It's going to be crazy. Definitely can't wait to see the final bracket. It's always tense to see who gets in and who don't, and then the debates and everything. Like the debates we had tonight, it gets people talking. It's a fun time. We're going to figure out about Lane tomorrow. We'll definitely be talking about that this week, me and Will, when we do our predictions. I'm sure we'll talk about that. I don't know if I'll do a live stream specifically for it, especially if it comes out at 9 a.m. tomorrow, because it's 4 a.m. right now. Sunday's a tough day for me anyway. Like, it's really hard to fit that in. But we'll talk about Lane. We'll definitely talk about Lane, whatever he does. And that's going to be an update for sure. But see, I appreciate that, Rough Rider. Jeffrey Austin Jackson made the college season even better. I appreciate that, Rough Rider. Jackson and Austin do great stuff as well. Me and Jackson, Alabama Voice of College Football, love doing that. Jackson and Austin with the final whistle do a great job. I don't know if they've done it recently, but when they do it, they do a great job. And I appreciate it. It means the world to me. I mean, I love doing this stuff. I get so passionate about this stuff because I love football. I love basketball, I love football. I love talking about this stuff. And I mean, I've got opinions. Everybody's got opinions. Just the back and forth of the debate. It's great stuff. Definitely. A lot of the stuff I say, I'm probably wrong. I'm probably wrong on a lot of stuff, but it is what it is. Sometimes you believe what you believe, but I appreciate everybody. I appreciate it, Rough Rider. Congrats to Oklahoma today for beating LSU. Not pretty, but they're a lock for the playoff now, pretty much. So it's good for Oklahoma, but I appreciate it. Congrats as well, Dave Brown. But appreciate everybody for being here. Like the stream down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Share the stream out on social media. If you love college football or people that love college football, definitely tell them about the show. I'm sure they'll love it, especially if they're night owls on Saturday night. If they're night owls on Saturday night, this is probably the perfect place for them to fall asleep to, or, come in, call in, have a debate. It's great stuff about college football. We try not to always debate, but this stuff can get heated. You know how it is. It's crazy. So I appreciate everybody, though. You guys have a great night. Roll Tide, roll. Go Hoosiers, like Austin said. Great day of college football, and I hope your team had a great season. If not, there's always next year. But definitely, I hope everybody has a great night. Appreciate it, everybody.